ground states. Vice President Harris will rally with Beyonce in Houston, while former President Trump will be interviewed by podcaster Joe Rogan and hold a press conference on immigration. Harris told reporters that strengthening the southern border is a priority of hers.
My highest priority is to put the resources into ensuring that our border is secure, which is why I've been very clear.
Good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in the studio this morning, Pastor Doug Austin with Country Club.
The biggest issue that we have right now is that Donald Trump has stood in the way of what would have been a proven part of the solution.
On the Salem Radio Network's Hugh Hewitt show, Trump said if elected, he'll take steps to address a major trade imbalance between the U.S. and European Union.
You have a $312 billion deficit with the EU. You know, the EU is a mini, but not so mini, is a mini China. They treat us very, very badly.
3 Americans and 1 Russian cosmonaut are back on Earth today after riding back in a SpaceX capsule.
Dragon Endeavour has returned home, and NASA astronauts Matt Dominic, Mike Barrett, and Jeanette Epps, and Roscosmos cosmonaut Alexander Gurbankin are back on Earth after an approximately 34-hour return journey from space.
Sandra Jones with NASA Communications says their 8-month mission lasted longer than expected. There were delays caused by problems with the Boeing Starliner capsule and hurricane-related weather in Florida. Palestinians say more than 36 people were killed in the latest Israeli military strikes in southern Gaza. Israel says its forces killed a number of Palestinian gunmen. More on these stories at townhall.com.
To brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
The Pope is dead.
From Focus Features comes the electrifying new film, Conclave.
We're about to choose the most famous man in the world.
Based on the international best-selling thriller.
The Pope discovered something before he died.
Ralph Fiennes, Stanley Tucci.
Ambition becomes corruption.
Dawn Lithgow and Isabella Rossellini.
We sisters have eyes and ears.
Top critics are raving. Conclave is hands down the best picture of the year.
I had to find the truth.
Conclave, rated PG. Parental guidance suggested. Now playing only in theaters.
The Menendez brothers may soon be out of prison.
Prosecutors are going to recommend re-sentencing Eric and Lyle Menendez in the 1989 killings of their parents in Beverly Hills. A Netflix series on the Menendez brothers resulted in lots of phone calls to the office of Los Angeles DA George Gascon. He will recommend a sentence of 50 years to life.
Since they were under 26 years of age at the time that these crimes occurred, they will be eligible for parole immediately.
The brothers said they feared their parents were about to kill them to stop people from finding out Jose Menendez had sexually abused his son Eric for years. The Menendez brothers have been model prisoners. I'm Ed Donahue.
Russia's Vladimir Putin closed out the summit of the BRICS bloc of developing economies, hailing its role as a counterbalance to the West. The alliance that initially included Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa has expanded. News and analysis at townhall.com. Food bacteria outbreaks have been in the headlines recently, and they're prompting some questions about the safety of the country's food supply. Here's Shelley Adler.
From Boar's Head deli meat and waffles to McDonald's quarter pounders, this year's illness outbreaks and food recalls may have Americans wondering whether there are new risks in the food supply. Donald Schaffner is a food science expert at Rutgers University.
You see this listeria outbreak. There was a listeria waffle recall. There's this outbreak. And I don't think they're an indication that the sky is falling. I think they're probably just either coincidence and or the CDC doing a really good job of finding these problems for us.
The FDA says the country ranks near the top for food safety. I'm Shelley Adler.
An FDA investigation into the McDonald's E. coli outbreak continues. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yes.
It is Friday of a very, very long week.
Oh boy, it has been a heck of a week.
It has.
And I know that even though it's the end of the week, the work continues.
Yeah. Well,
obviously,
and the fun continues too.
Yes.
In case you may have not noticed, you were out and about downtown yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
It is that time of year also, Roswell Jazz Festival. I know.
Yes.
I know Flood Week is kind of in the flooding and everything's kind of put a lot of things on the back burner. But Roswell Jazz Festival said, nah, they're like the post office. No snow, no sleet. We will have the Jazz Festival. And they were out. They really started gearing up yesterday when they're out at Reichman Park all day doing their first day of concerts. Well, it continues all day today, all day tomorrow, and all day Sunday as well, too.
You know that there was somebody that had just wrapped up a long day of cleaning up debris, getting their driveway cleared out, helping their neighbors, and stuff. And they stopped. The exhaustion's starting to sit in. Please tell me you guys hear music. I'm not the only one that's hearing that, right? Like, there's a couple of people that thought they were losing their minds last night.
But then I'm sure there's others that, hey, in the middle of this, there's some music.
There's jazz on the wind.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So it's really a cool thing. But a matter of fact, in the 8 o'clock hour today, we're going to have John join us from the Jazz Festival and talk about, what's on tap for the rest of the weekend here and some free stuff. If you go to, you don't have to wait till 8:15. You can go to roswelljazz.org and you can see if you go on the official schedule tab up there, you can see everything there. A few of the, I know some of the Peppers tonight sold out, but I think there's still tickets for the shows at the Liberties at the Liberty this weekend, and
the Sunday show, I believe.
Yeah, there's of course the free concerts here in Reichman Park
session.
Yeah. Also in the courthouse lawn today, they're going to have one. So, but we'll talk all about that with John in the 8 o'clock hour here today. Also, we got a bevy of football for you as well. Of course, high school football is today and tomorrow. Of course, we got the big game tonight here at the Wool Bowl, as the Bulldogs and the Goddard Rockets square off.
Yep.
We'll have that game for you in all perspectives. For the Goddard broadcast, you can listen to the game on our sister station, 106.1 FM Fierro. We will have live streaming video of the game, ksvptv.com. The Goddard Rocket channel will give you the Goddard perspective. The Artesia Bulldog channel on the same page will give you the Bulldog perspective.
Yes, sir.
Basically, it'll be the same video, just
different audio.
Announcers will be. But anyway, so we'll have that for you tonight. If you want to listen to the Artesia perspective, probably if you're here in Roswell, I just get on the video because it's on.
It's your best bet.
Yeah, it's on 990 AM in Artesia, and that powers down at night, and you probably won't hear it.
Kids, there used to be something called AM radio.
It's still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
Usually, events like what we've just experienced, you find out real quick. That's things like ham radio and AM radio are the things that work. But anyway, so we'll have that big game tonight for you on both our stations, both perspectives. Roswell Coyotes travel to Las Cruces to take on Mayfield tomorrow. That game will be a 1 o'clock kickoff. We'll have that game for you right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. We'll start pregame, 12:40, somewhere around there. And then we'll have that game video and at ksvptv.com. Unfortunately, because of the Coyote broadcast, we cannot bring you Greyhound football on Saturday because they conflict. And our priority is to Roswell High School. So we will be carrying Roswell High football for you on Saturday, not Portales NMU Greyhound football. So
still football action for you.
Plenty of football for you. And then, of course, Cowboys on Sunday on 92.9 The Brand and
if you care.
Fierro.
Has our Spanish announcer started calling them Los Cowboys yet?
I'm sure. I'm sure
they've switched from Vaqueros
Los
to
Cowboys.
Los Cowboys.
Yeah, they're. I think they're the Los Cowboys.
You really
right
tell
now.
us bad when he goes, Los Cowboys.
Yeah, week 1 they were Vaqueros. By now they're Los Cowboys. But anyway, it's funny. We're used to hearing Spanish language versions of professional broadcasting and stuff. That's pretty common here. Less common in, like, say, DC.
Sure.
And so, like, now that Washington's good again, at least till this weekend, we'll see. But anyway, they've been getting a lot of shine. And so now people are hearing the Spanish broadcasts of Commander games. And so now you're starting to see it online, the same excitement we see, but and I don't know what they say for Commanders in Spanish, but it's
Commanderes.
Touchdown Roberts! They go crazy. They do it. And so people are like, man, listen to these broadcasts. They're wild. I'm like, yeah, I've been hearing that for years.
What is the line of delineation in this country from when you stop seeing Spanish simulcasts and you start seeing French simulcasts? Like, I got to imagine, like, right around Wisconsin, you're going to see, you don't see as many Spanish simulcasts. You see, like, and for our friends up north, the French simulcast.
I would even argue maybe down Louisiana area you might see a French broadcast or two of maybe some Saints football.
Talking, but see, that's different. It's not French. They go Cajuns.
It's French like.
Mais on sing on thing. Damn, we'll pay another day.
French.
Just a whole crowd of that coach from Waterboy.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely France. They're not France. Although France sounds way weirder than
Speaking
France.
of, and this is only like lightly related. Have you finished the new Deadpool?
No, I'm not. I'm still halfway through it, and I haven't. It'll be this weekend, probably.
All right. The reason I bring it up, and I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it.
Okay.
Have you gotten to the scene where he's in the cave with all the other supers?
No, I'm at a point where he's just meeting, like, his starting to meet counterparts of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to spoil it then. There's a character that makes an appearance in the movie.
Okay.
That has been a bit of a sticking point as far as launching a franchise behind.
Okay.
It's Gambit.
Okay.
And I didn't want to spoil. It's Gambit, but the way they portray Gambit in this movie is perfection.
Okay.
Like, to the point where I want to see a standalone Gambit movie now.
Okay.
Especially if it's, doggone it, what's his name? Magic Mike?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I hate this part. I forget the. Yeah. Anyways, he's
also doing like one of the perfume commercials right now. I see him all shirtless on some perfume.
See, what kills me about country radio is I keep wanting to say Chase Beckham.
Yeah,
it's a country radio.
I just keep calling him Magic Mike.
So Magic Mike is Gambit. But his Cajun French is sort of what reminded me of it. His Cajun French, though, laissez-faire pendant brûlé or whatever it is.
Yeah,
he nails it. I mean, it's such a perfect character that even in, like, the subtleties, he's still hitting that kind of, like, Cajun
Maybe
French.
He's got a little Creole in him.
Little Creole accent.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely worth a check out. You need to finish watching it so we can finally talk about it.
I know.
Before they put it out on, like, Freevee.
I know. Hey, I know another thing that's kind of taken a little bit of a back burner is Halloween. But that is, this is a Halloween weekend. Of course, next week's official Halloween holiday.
And this is the unofficial weekend that everybody's going to be trick or treating.
And it's been a little quiet on the trunk or treat front here, but I do have a couple of things. Of course, Foxworth Galbraith tomorrow, they're having their big trick or treating event where you can enjoy safe trick or treating. They're going to be doing pumpkin decorating, games like spin the wheel, giveaways, all that stuff, arts and crafts. But that'll be at Foxworth Galbraith tomorrow from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on Main Street. Also, First United Methodist Church, they're having their fall festival in Trunk or Treat tomorrow from 1 to 4 p.m., and that's going to be at First United Methodist Church, 200 North Pennsylvania. Enter your best decorated car, or coche, for my friends in Espanol. Sorry, I did my Bob Uecker there. Plus, they're going to have lots of games and bouncy houses and of course, a ton of candy. Although I saw a story on the news yesterday, and I'm not going to lie, y'all know one of my true vices. This is a slightly alarming one. Apparently, there's some kind of worldwide cocoa shortage because of some flooding or storms or something in the cocoa.
The crop wasn't great this year. There was a lot of drought in a lot of the places where cocoa is grown, the African Valley and some of those other places.
Yeah. So, the big candy companies are compensating, and they're saying in this Halloween you're going to see a lot less chocolate-based products
or a lot of things
that are alternative
like
to.
a lot more Milky Ways or Snickers that have other ingredients.
Like you'll notice Kit Kat has a lot new flavors that are really less chocolate centric driven. Things like that. Packaging will be a little smaller. They'll shrink the cups a bit. They're shrinking.
The shrinkflation thing I'm not super okay with, but when Kit Kat starts rolling out their alternative flavors, I'm good with that. Kit Kat's up there in the upper echelon of when they put out a flavor. Usually it's pretty spot on.
But here's the thing with Kit Kat, and probably we got about another 5 minutes.
Hey, this is important.
Yes. The thing about Kit Kat is, I like Kit Kat. I enjoy Kit Kat, and I eat Kit Kats. I'm gonna say all the time, but you know, when I have candy bars, they're in the rotation. But they're kind of their regular candy bars, the less full of things. Like Snickers got the caramel, this and that. It's just that wafer, and so I know a lot of people generally sleep on Kit Kat like that. But that being said, to me, anything they do chocolate based is pretty much a Kit Kat. The only time they get weird is when it's like strawberry and graham or something like that.
And so you're not down with those.
Well, no, that's not necessarily true. I had one that was it was almost like a peanut butter and jelly one or something. It was years ago, and I was all right.
Japan is notorious for Kit Kat flavors because this is actually a thing. Every single Japanese province was commissioned essentially by Hershey's to put out their own unique flavor of Kit Kat.
Okay.
And they were only sold in these provinces. It was used as a tourism method, essentially, if you want to try these new and exciting exotic Kit Kats, you have to come to these provinces of Japan.
Well, I've seen the wasabi ones in Asian market a few times. I do not have the cojones to purchase them.
There's other ones there's Rosewater. There's what was the Fuji apple, which I've tried before, and it's all right. But I will also argue this.
Do they all have chocolate in them in some way?
It's a white chocolate base usually.
So no.
It's a carob base. Kit Kat is the only legitimate Halloween candy bar out there. Can I tell you why?
Sure.
So in between the wafers of the Kit Kat itself, it's not chocolate. You know what they fill those in between things with?
I saw the one commercial, and it's just the stuff. I don't know what it's
little
called.
Bits of recycled Kit Kat bars. That's what they fill. So it's a zombie candy bar. That's right. Okay. It's filled with dead versions of itself. So the Kit Kat is the only legitimate Halloween candy bar.
Yeah, I could give that.
Unless they started making Reese's cups with old Reese's inside.
Well, and to be honest, I'm also going to say there is an X factor. The whatchamacallit. Because, Lord, we really don't know what's going on there.
That's true.
But it's good.
That is true.
That's got the more Alfred Hitchcock of it. It's it's the mystery.
Now, you'd probably be more of a fan of the Who's a What's-Its.
Yeah, those are good.
It's basically a whatchamacallit, but the caramel inside is chocolate.
Yes.
Chocolate caramel.
Yeah, they're pretty they're hard to find.
They're
but
real
tasty.
hard to find.
Yeah, they're tasty. I've had one moons ago. Many moons ago. Back in the days where you could still find things like Jolt Cola on the shelves.
That was my day, man. Surge soda in the 3-liter and a box of Gobstoppers. That was my afternoon.
You know, we need to get the interview going here, but I'll tell you this. Because Surge Soda came out right in the height of Beavis and Butthead. And the way the artists, the graphics were on the can of Surge, it was very reminiscent of Mike Judge cartoonery to me. And
Surge, he was splat.
So I was convinced Surge was some offshoot Beavis and Butthead, like Mike Judge is involved in this. I know. Look at the can. It looks like something Butthead would walk around with.
That's everything back then. You remember Josta? That cola with guarana? Everything was like splashed on and extreme.
But the coloring was even that Beavis and Butthead. It literally looked like a screenshot of something off Beavis and Butthead to me. So.
And the timelines work out perfectly, so it makes sense.
All right, let me give you my rundown here for today. Like I said, we do have a full slate. We are going to replay our interview. Doug Austin with Country Club Road Church of Christ joined us in the 8 o'clock hour yesterday, beginning this morning here in about 9 a.m. or so. They're going to have a drive-through event at Country Club Road Church of Christ there on the corner of Country Club in Washington, right over by the NMMI Intermediate School with right there. You can't miss it. Right by the hospital. All there. That's where they're at. But they're going to have a drive-through event where you come through. You almost fill out like a checklist of what your needs are. If you need toiletries or food, and then you don't even have to get out your vehicle. They'll fill the box and load it for you. But also, they're also kind of setting the tables for phase 2, where people are going to need more like housing and that kind of stuff. So they're also kind of starting a list. So if you say, hey, I need this or whatever, they can add you to the list and when that phase starts and they start shifting from immediate needs like this to parent homes and doing that, you'll be in that too. But we'll play that interview with Doug here in just a few to tell you more about that. But that is today, this morning. That's why I'm playing it here in a bit. Like I said a few minutes ago, John with the Roswell Jazz Festival joined us in the 8 o'clock hour, and we'll talk all about what's on tap for the rest of the weekend here with Jazz Fest, and invite you to come on out and be a part of that. Take a break from flooding and enjoy some music and some humanity.
Yeah.
On another different.
It's nice.
And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, I'm going to play my interview I had with coach, teacher, however you know him, Hayden Hill. He joins us. He joins us about this time every year. Veterans Day is right around the corner here, coming up in November, and of course, on November the 9th, we'll have the citywide Veterans Day assembly and parade and all that. But around that same time period, most of the schools in the RSD, they have some kind of veterans assembly or program. I always recommend folks go check them all out. But including Roswell High, Goddard High, middle schools, a lot of them do it. But every year, Hayden Hill and the folks over at Goddard High, they turn it into a big rock concert and have this big event. They go all out. And so that one's just a little bit more over the top than some of the others. So, But Hayden joins us each year, and we want to invite people out and tell what's going on for this year's Veterans Day Assembly. So I talked with Hayden, and we'll play that for you here in the 9 o'clock hour, talking all about this year's Veterans Assembly at Goddard High School. And then, of course, we'll have all your features that include the newses of the local, national variety, Wall Street business updates, and whatever else we can come up with for today's show. All right, 7:24. Let's take a gander at your weather. A cooler weather than yesterday.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good today. We had a dry cold front drop through. That'll keep us a little bit cooler, low to mid 70s and a little gusty, but plenty of sunshine. Mid 40s and clear for the overnight hours. We'll be hitting about 80 for the afternoon high on Saturday. Not as windy and lots of sun. Low 50s and clear for Saturday night. Sunday looks good, warming up a little bit. Upper 80s and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 57 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 49%. Winds currently out of the north at 13 miles per hour. Cooler today. Sunny skies. 72 are expected high. Remember, we were like 90 yesterday. Not so much today. Winds will be out of the north, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Clear tonight with an overnight low of 47 degrees, east winds at around 5 miles per hour. A little warmer for you Saturday, sunny, 78 for a high tomorrow. East winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, we're bouncing right back up into the upper 80s. Sunny skies, high of 87. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then Monday, when you head back to work, hopefully school as well, we'll see. Mostly sunny and 91. And then winds roll in Tuesday. We're back in the upper 80s. Then back down in the mid to low 70s by Wednesday and Thursday of next week. At least that's what they're reporting right now. But cooler, but more fall-like. This is more what fall's supposed to be like today. All right, 7:25. We're going to take a quick 3.5-minute break. Then we're going to play our interview with Pastor Doug Austin from Country Club Road Church of Christ, talking about their event happening here starting this morning. That's on the other side. Don't go away.
Coming to the Liberty on Saturday, November 2nd. Don't miss an evening with Caitlin Butts.
Like the Marfa lights.
With special guest, Nancy Haygood.
Are you ever really ready for love?
Doors open at 6 and the show starts at 8. Tickets are available at thelibertyinc.com. Get yours before they're gone. Don't miss an evening with Caitlin Butts. Saturday, November 2nd, 6 p.m. at the Liberty. 312 North Virginia in Roswell.
You there! What are these?
My glasses, Your Highness. They're
incredible. Who made these?
The eyesight in Roswell. Or was it Hobbs? Or maybe Carlsbad.
So well crafted and stylish. So the eyesight thinks they can challenge my throne with their quality eyewear.
Actually, Your Majesty, I got 2 pair and an eye exam. It was so easy. I did it during my lunch break, and they even took my insurance.
Lunch break? Who gave you a lunch break?
Human resources, Your Majesty.
Silence! I'll get you eyesight!
The Eyesight, now accepting new patients 5 and up in Roswell, Hobbs, and Carlsbad.
3 locations?
Clearly the best in sight.
Late in the Apostle Paul's life, he wrote the following: "I've fought the good fight, I've finished the race, I've kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord the righteous judge will award to me on that day. And not only to me, but to all who have longed for his appearing." That is the definition of dying well. Paul had not always been a follower of Christ, but once he changed his life from persecutor to that of a man who followed Jesus to being fully dedicated, he was all in. He knew that he was forgiven, and he knew that he had lived a life of service to his Lord. He wasn't perfect, but he knew that Jesus was, and that Christ's saving grace was more than enough. You too can have that same confidence to die well. You can never earn it, but Jesus wants you to have his free gift of forgiveness. He wants all of us to be with him in heaven.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Pressure Services, LLC in Artesia, New Mexico has immediate openings for experienced vacuum truck, kill truck, and hydrovac operators. Operators must hold a Class A CDL, at least 2 years of experience, and all positions require a clean driving record and must be able to pass a DOT drug and alcohol screening. Pressure Services offers great pay with IRA benefits and employer contribution towards health benefits. Please apply in person at 2702 North Freeman in Artesia, New Mexico. Equal Opportunity Employer. This is an important service update from Plateau for Roswell, Dexter, and Hagerman customers. We are aware that many of our valued customers in Roswell are experiencing service outages due to the recent weather event. Our teams are working diligently to restore services as quickly as possible. We understand how important staying connected is, and we appreciate your patience as we navigate these challenges. Please know that our top priority is getting services working safely and efficiently. Thank you for your understanding and support from all of us here at Plateau.
The inventor of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. I wonder if they got their hands stuck putting him in there. Here's Mike Winters.
Joining us. That, my friends, is a workout program right there. Good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock. And joining us in the studio this morning, Pastor Doug Austin with Country Club Road Church of Christ. Back with us. It's been a minute since you've been on the radio. I see him every week. he comes in and records ads. Matter of fact, he's sitting in the same spot. Sits every
I know
time.
it's just you got my name on it. So,
but yeah, we don't get to talk to you on the radio very much. So good morning, welcome.
Good morning.
Welcome to what this place looks like at 8 in the morning.
Kind of looks the same.
Kind of looks the same, doesn't it? Yeah. But of course, you guys. Fortunately, it sounds like you church home in itself pretty good shape as far as the flooding goes. Probably some leaks and things, but church on Sunday, no issues. You guys are going in like you normally would for church.
Yeah, no problems there. We kind of sit on a hill, and our parking lot got roughed up a little bit. But
to be honest, I live not too far from there, and I'm on that same high ground.
That's
so
right.
we're blessed in that area.
That's right.
This particular time. So, but that being said, the church is a home for people and refuge and thing. And so, of course, you guys are stepping up, and you've got an event coming up here to get resources to folks that are in need right now.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have something on Friday. But what I find so interesting is as I've been driving around and working and digging people out and all of that stuff, churches from all over this town have shown up. And
it's great. I was seeing the trailers from Hope. Get the name.
Yeah, and they were yesterday, I believe.
Yes, and they were rolling through doing their thing, and I think day before there's and you're just seeing just people.
Yeah.
Maybe they're with the church,
teams,
maybe they're not. They're
teams
just
of people,
and they're not even from here in some cases. They just kind of came into town and said, "All right, put me to work," and so we're seeing so much acts of just humanity going on.
Well, and someone asked me the other day, "Do churches matter anymore?" And I kind of thought about how to answer that question, and I wished they would have asked that question on Monday instead of a couple weeks ago, because before government steps in, before the state's going to do anything, before FEMA's even going to find the keys to the car.
That's right. There's the churches out there.
The churches have already done a whole bunch of stuff.
They're making sure people got food, make a place to stay.
That's right.
Do they need clothing? And by the way, speaking of that too, I haven't reminded folks today, but First Baptist Church Gyra Ministries, they're open all week, 9 to 5.
And they've got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, and so if you do
teams
need
to go clean,
go by here in about 30 minutes, I think they're going to open up. So come on down.
I'm just so impressed with how the churches have all moved together and all the work they've done. And it just makes me proud to be a minister at one of the other churches.
Sure.
Here. So
you're kind of like, because I imagine, like any job, you have your days where, these are those days that feed the soul and say, this is why I'm glad I went, the path I went is where I'm at.
That's right. And I've slept great every night because I've been exhausted.
He's getting tired.
I didn't know mud was heavy. So you push mud around for a while, and that's different than my pencil in the office.
It's a whole lot of kind of sludge. It was fun when you're a child and you're making pies with it, but as an adult, it's not fun no more.
No, I'm with you. What's cool about what we're going to do is it's going to kind of supplement what's been already going on.
Okay.
And
so kind of a next wave kind of thing.
Kind of, and then we're hoping we can get a next wave even after that.
Excellent.
So what we're going to do on Friday, so tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we'll have just a drive-through.
Okay.
And so you will come in our Washington entrance.
Okay.
And you'll have a couple ladies that are gonna meet you, and they're gonna say, "Here's what we got. What do you need?" And kind of do a little intake, and you'll take that little sheet, and you'll basically do a drive-through.
Okay.
And we'll fill your trunk or your back seat or your front seat or whatever you need. You don't have to get out.
Excellent.
Unless you need to at the very end, because we're going to have some clothes options.
Okay, so maybe if you need to see if it fits or kind of
if you need to see some shoes or something like that.
Gotcha, makes sense.
But what we're going to have is some of the same stuff everywhere.
Sure.
Things like water and food.
Essential care needs.
Yeah, but there'll be some personal care boxes that are really kind of neat. And I hope they'll bring some men and women at least a little smile in the midst of some hard days.
So a little bit of luxury with your necessities.
Yeah, a little bit of luxury.
Nice.
Lots of detergent, washing,
soaps,
everything.
cleaning products, things like that. Yeah.
From laundry to
household
floors,
cleaning.
household cleaning.
Okay.
All kinds of cleaning products, trash bags, yards, mops, rakes, all those things, gloves.
So pretty much all the things you have in your shed or garage or under your kitchen cabinet
that
you just need that you don't have now. You here's a box of that stuff to help get you started.
Right. And then one of the things we found that is a great need, and so we've been able to get some, is there's been a great need for things like sheets and towels and pillows. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the trucks that have come in have had lots of water and food, and all of that's great.
We're kind of lacking the towels and bedding and stuff.
And so hopefully we'll have some of that. Excellent. Again, we'll
Which, by the way, if folks are in that giving and think in those terms, like if you're saying, where can I help? sounds like bedding and towels is probably an area maybe you can pick the slack up, because I'm sure if you're experiencing that, all the other churches and organizations are also experiencing.
Yeah, that just seems to be one of the things we've gotten the most requests for.
Okay.
And so we're going to try to do that. Now, hopefully our second phase, so we're working with a group called the Disaster Relief of Churches of Christ, and it's kind of all over the South. And we learned a great lesson from the churches in Ruidoso. And in the midst of their fire, they kind of got this initial wave that we've been seeing here. But their second wave has been stuff like appliances and furniture and, bedding in the sense of mattresses.
And to be honest, this is that part where people probably aren't much rolling in because they're not in the spotlight anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so the donations aren't rolling in, and that's where you find the churches really getting. And so Ruidoso's kind of in that phase now. So like you're saying, you're taking a page out of that book, and that's so I'm guessing maybe that's what our churches will probably hear in a couple of weeks. We'll phase to that more of those household solutions like appliances, beds, furniture, things like that.
Well, and just like you were talking a few minutes ago with cars damaged left and right, all those houses that got a foot of water inside of them, that's going to ruin stoves, and that's going to ruin washers and dryers.
And if you don't properly abate or get rid of that stuff, you're going to have a problem later. So if that appliance is, riddled with mold or whatever,
So what we'll do on our little intake form when you start through the drive-through process is ask us about that. If you know you got a need, I think we've even got like water heaters available on the next wave.
But get on the list, saying, hey, and just really, because if you tell the church, I'm guessing that's where they're going to say, okay, well, we need to make an extra push, because guess what? Not only you, but we got 3 other people that need that appliance or that hot water heater or whatever it is.
Well, and that way we can go to the company and say, okay, we need X amount of water heaters.
Yeah.
And maybe we need, 2 microwaves.
But it kind of gives you a shopping list, so to speak, or a wish list here.
Exactly.
And able to go out and procure these things.
Yeah.
So.
And when you come in, you can ask the intake ladies any of those questions, and they'll have all the answers for you.
Excellent.
So they're way sharper than I am. They're so organized. So
this is kind of a customized
I hope so.
Box or whatever that you're going to be taking home on
It's what
Friday.
you need. If you don't need food, then we want to.
But there will be families that do,
else.
But you could use cleaning products, or you could use toiletries, or whatever. Or if you're just saying, maybe I don't need some of this stuff, but I really need that hot water heater. Can I get on the list? And if your needs are maybe bigger now, come by and let's get you on the list and stuff. If you don't need to take a box of toiletries, awesome. But if you need other things, let's get that process started. So
one of our other plans, or what we hope is we hope about 1 o'clock or so tomorrow. We've got enough that we can load up a couple of trucks. We want to try to hit Dagerman and Hexter.
Okay.
Dagerman and Hexter. It's been a long day. Dexter and Hagerman.
Yes. Because they did get hammered too.
Right.
I know Roswell's kind of been in the spotlight, but
and churches down there have done a good job too. But there's just
amazing.
not as many.
Of course, they're built different than us. Like they're used to being a little more isolated. Where Roswell, we're kind of needy, but you know what I mean. We're more creature comfort oriented, But that being said, they could definitely use, because I've heard everything from pretty much every structure in these 2 communities has been impacted in some way, shape, or form by the flooding.
To some degree.
And so any support we can help and get down if we can get down there, please do, because I'm sure Dexter Hagerman could use the help just like Roswell can. So the more the merrier here, and absolutely.
Hopefully you'll see a couple of trucks driving around, and they're going to jump out when they see people and knock on doors and.
Be like the ice cream man back in the day.
Yeah. like the old Swan man that brought my mom those taquitos.
You start hearing the music.
Maybe I'll tell him to play some music. Some church hymns or something. Okay, so when you hear a truck with church hymns, you'll know it's us.
Doesn't have ice cream, but it got a lot of cool stuff.
That's right.
But again, so tomorrow at Country Club Road Church of Christ, the church location there on Country Club in Washington, right on the corner there. You'll start at 10 a.m.?
Yeah, 10 o'clock.
10 a.m. tomorrow, and it'll go while supplies last. Hopefully, like you said, by early afternoon, we're going mobile, and we can hit some of our other towns in the county with some aid here too.
Yeah. Well, we're getting a semi-load with 27 pallets, and all those pallets are stacked substantially over my head.
Excellent.
So I hope we don't run out right away.
Excellent.
But we also want to make sure we get it out to people who need
so
it.
you got the volunteers to unload?
We do.
And do
We
all
have got.
Okay.
We've got everything manned and ready.
But I imagine if someone wants to help out, we won't turn you away.
if we got a spot open, we don't want people standing around.
Sure, but at the same
twiddling
time,
their thumbs.
More hands make less work. And
that's right.
When you're moving pallets and pallets of stuff, and sometimes people need a breather too.
Well, Roswell Livestock has lent us their forklift driver for the day.
Awesome.
And from what Bryce Taylor has told me, he's pretty amazing.
Excellent.
And it's like, get out of his way, let him do his thing, and he'll have that truck unloaded in.
Speaking
in
of
15
Roswell
minutes.
Livestock, I just mentioned a quick update on that. So of course, last week we had American Legion guys. They were going to go drive to Carolina with some supplies for hurricane, and then the flood hit, and things kind of got But we do have an end result on that. They left Saturday. They went out there. They actually met somebody in something like Alabama or something. I don't remember. I don't have it in front of me. And they got the supplies to them. So mission accomplished. They got stuff that's going to Georgia to go help out efforts there. And then so our guys are heading back as we speak right now.
Well,
so,
good.
But Roswell Livestock, they supplied the trailer, and of course, their family that's involved with this is a part of their family as well too. So
well, those guys are awesome. I mean, from Dale and Kay,
they've been stepping up.
That whole crew
prior to the
fantastic.
flooding, and continue to do so during flooding.
And whatever comes next, they'll help with that too.
It's a Roswell staple.
That's right.
Certain things in town, and it just is Roswell. Roswell Livestock and Farm Supply is one of those places.
Yeah. So we just need to thank them. I mean, they're lending us stuff and helping us get stuff in and out, and that.
And I like that they're working with you guys because let's face it, churches by and large are better equipped to get to because they have we got an army of people, and so using you as that conduit to get the most benefit out of that aid is smart. So I like that they're doing that.
It is. So we need to thank Rochelle Taylor. I think she's been instrumental in kind of helping us out, and her son Bryce and all of that.
So G was curious, the trucks that are coming in, are they coming from an organization that the church partners with, or where does that stuff come from?
Well, it's called the Church of Christ Disaster Relief. And what's odd is we have supported them when they've been other places.
Okay. So now it's our turn.
Yeah.
Basically.
Never thinking, we've all said, aren't you glad we don't live in the hurricane zone?
Hold my beer.
We got our same version. Mm-hmm. And so it was kind of neat us talking with them. And we were able to schedule it out, so we were a little bit later in the line. And so, I mean, we didn't need 6 trucks here on Monday.
Well,
we needed it scattered through.
And this is the part that makes sense here, because yes, when it first happens, the Monday and Sunday of this, after this event, it's all over the news, and everyone's like, where do I send money? Where do I do things? And that's great because it does handle immediate needs and stuff. But what happens is 4 or 5 days later, we're not talking about it on the news as much. People aren't contributing that stuff. And so that's where churches and places that this is what they do all the time have to step up, because the shine is not there anymore and people have forgotten.
Yeah.
And so there's not that steady stream of support. So now it's the churches, the people that are always in that highway of getting and doing those things have to step up. And so you guys are kind of saying, we, immediate rush first needs, people place to stay, taking care of our parishioners and things. But now that the waves kind of shifted, we're going to step up, and when others have dropped off, we're going to pick that baton up and keep going with it. And that's kind of what you guys are doing.
Yeah, we know that rebuilding doesn't happen in the first week.
Absolutely.
So, that's evident.
They're still uncovering at this point.
That's right.
We're still learning. I'm sure there's still a few layers we got to peel back, and we're like, I didn't realize that was as bad as that was. Or I feel like there's still a few surprises out there we're about to find out about.
It'd be nice if there wasn't, but at least let's be prepared to handle whatever comes next.
It's just because it's just the way. I mean, think about it. Every bridge, everything and by the way, I do want to. I got to keep reminding. I said it on Facebook yesterday, but I got to keep reminding people. FEMA and Department of Homeland Security Emergency Preparedness are in town. They are here. They're knocking on doors. I'm not sure if they're setting up a location to go to yet. As we get that information, I will share it with you. I do not know that yet, but they are in fact in town. And I know people yesterday were getting knocks on doors and questioning it because on the news they're saying they can't respond and you're not FEMA. And so they are FEMA. They are Homeland Security, Emergency Management. They are legit. They do have credentials. But if they do come to your home or wherever you're at, They are who they say they are, and they are offering help. So,
well, and thank you for all the stuff you've been posting. We've kind of formed a little list, and a lot of the stuff we pulled off has come from you guys.
Well, that's been kind of been I've been trying to do.
And you've been a great resource to the whole community.
Everything we see, I share, and sometimes that bites you in the tail. But
well, there was the cookies talk a little bit ago that I could have missed, but that's all right.
But at times like this where people and I think that's where most people are having their fears and things. It's not the event itself. It's like, what's next?
Right.
Where do I go? What's happening? And so that's the part that's where I sit from my platform. I'm like, well, hey, how can I get that as best as possible?
One of the other things that one of our staff members, Melissa Ramirez, has put together kind of a master list of every place where you can get stuff.
Okay.
Even to the point of, now we're starting to kind of see the building needs, where can you get a good price on drywall and all of that stuff. And
I know also too, the Chaves County Health Council, they've kind of been with 211, they've got a list too, and it's a living list, which that's why they don't want you to copy and paste, just share it, because as people update that list, and this list is a twofold. It's people that are in need of services and people offering services. And so you get on the list on the services you offer, you get on the list on people that need services, and they're basically people fill in and check. But that's why it's the living list. And so
that's been a great resource.
Yeah, and that's really the best way. And so and FEMA and all the other big boys are tied into this too. So it's kind of like think of it like a wedding registry, or kind of one of those deals where you go to and then, all right, when you do, you check it off, and then everyone will see that you bought that item, and we don't know to buy the fifth vacuum cleaner or whatever it is. It's kind of like that a little bit. Think of that.
Well, they've done a good job.
Wise.
So because we've used their resource and passed it out.
Yeah, and I highly recommend. That's probably at this point the way to triage and keep. And to be honest, too, this also is a way to combat the nefarious from happening. From keeping the people that aren't. They take advantage and prey upon people during these situations. This is a way to kind of lock them out a little bit. So if you go through those channels, you're probably guaranteed not to be victim to people doing unsavory things. So,
I agree.
Which is going to get worse. The fly-by-nights will be, if they're not already here, they'll be coming in as we speak.
And the contractors will be miserable. That's a huge concern of ours, people who are having to rebuild, to make sure they get the right guys.
My best advice to you is stick with the local folks.
Because they're good, and there's plenty of them.
And they're not going away tomorrow if there is an issue. If you do choose someone that's not part of that, do your homework. Do your research, see credentials, see history, see everything, because, just be leery of anything that's not something that you're not familiar with. It's been part of our community for a while. So just saying. But anyway. Again, tomorrow, if you are in need or if resources, immediate needs from anything from your toiletries, food and things, but if you also are in need of bigger stuff, like your maybe appliances and stuff, we're not passing those out tomorrow, but we're getting set up for the next phase on that. But beginning at 10 a.m. tomorrow, come on by Country Club Road, Church of Christ, on the corner of Country Club in Washington. Right near the hospital, Eastern.
Right there, kind of nestled behind the golf course.
Right over. Yeah, right there, right next to NMMI's middle school. I can't remember the name of it. Right
across the street from Sanders Law Firm.
Yeah, right there. All in that little ballpark there. And come on by. You'll come in off Washington, right? Is that what you said earlier?
Yeah.
That's what, because it's a drive-through event. You can come. You don't even have to get out the car, but you can get you'll kind of put in your checklist of items you need. They'll fill you up as best they can and send you on your way. But if you do need those greater needs, hot water heaters, appliances, please let them know. They're formulating lists and trying to get those needs met within this next wave here.
Right.
So, and of course, you can always go to Country Club Road Church of Christ website, or come by the church if you have any questions, or anything. And of course, if you're looking for a church home, come on out.
Preacher's pretty nice guy.
Come out on Sundays, or what time's your services on Sundays? 10?
I don't know. I start when the sun comes up. 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Yes, I know that the one on the radio is at 10. I didn't know if there was an earlier.
That's the same
service.
One. You would think I would know,
an early bird special.
You would think I would know that faster.
But of course, and please, if you're in need, or if you'd like to help, please reach out, or maybe if you can offer resources to the church, like we were talking about procuring some of these maybe your business say, hey, maybe we can maybe we can partner with you guys to help get some of those needs.
Or we can say, here's another church that's doing this that we're not.
Yeah, exactly. And this is all on the table. So
we'll do the work together.
We're just trying to get people to get them back to as close to normal as possible.
That's right. So. All right, sounds good.
Excellent. Did we get all, Doug? Anything we missed?
I think so. I've crossed everything off on my list.
All right.
So, all right, I appreciate it.
To quote Hannibal Smith, I love it when a plan comes together. So, there we go.
So, which one of us is Mr. T?
Sean.
Sean? Yeah, that's probably Sean.
I'm gonna give you Face.
He's the good-looking one.
He's
right?
the one, yeah. He's
Okay.
the ladies' man.
That's appropriate.
We'll give you Face.
Who was the goofy one that had
Murdoch?
That I'm glad you didn't call me him.
Roy.
All right.
Roy's our Murdoch.
Roy is Murdoch.
Roy's our Murdoch.
Okay.
So your Face. I'll be Hannibal, and Sean will be Mr. T.
You know what's bad is I will get back to my office and they will have something on my desk with 18 design.
A nice picture of Dirk Benedict right there on your desk.
Yeah. Or the guy from the 80s when I was a kid. All right.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of a certain young pastor and his not knowing about Top Gun many, many moons ago.
It seems like he might have worked with me.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Doug.
I moved him to Kentucky.
That's right.
No, I didn't move him, but I'd love him to come back.
Love moved him.
That's right. Some girl. All right.
Thank you, Doug.
Okay, you bet.
All right, it is 8:42. Let's pause for news. Chaves County Sports Update, your Red Apple Market Update, and comerciales to pay for lunch. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Massive flooding. The city said Thursday that people should keep vehicles off the road in flooded areas and do not place large items in trash containers. Instead, just place the items along the curb at the street, not in the alleyway. Also, materials placed out for curbside pickup must not have any overhead obstructions and have a clear radius of 8 inches around them. You'll pay more for traffic citations in Carlsbad. This week, the Carlsbad City Council voted unanimously 7-0 to increase fines by $40 for 14 various traffic offenses. Ward 2 Councilor J.J. Chavez was absent from the meeting Tuesday night, so he did not vote. 5 cases of E. coli are now confirmed in New Mexico, with 1 death after a food safety alert was tied to McDonald's Quarter Pounders. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Is your smart TV driving you nuts? You want to sit back and watch something, but it takes forever for you to load anything. It's tempting. Yeah, I know, to throw the remote. I'm Kim Commando for Here.com. If these words come out of your mouth, what'd you say? Get a free hearing evaluation right now at Here.com/Kim. Now, before you break your TV in a fit of rage, I have 3 pro tips to get that TV back to speed. Number 1, clear the cache. Just like your phone or computer, your TV stores temporary data. The more that builds up, the slower it gets. Head to your settings, find the cache, and clear it out. Next, get rid of those background apps. You likely didn't install them. They came with the TV. Those apps are sucking up memory and slowing everything down. Finally, update your TV software. If you've been ignoring your smart TV's updates, it could be costing you speed. And if all else fails, turn it on and off again. A hard reboot does wonders. Join almost 550,000 people every single day who get tech smart with my free newsletter at getkim.com. I've been getting so much great feedback from my listeners about Here.com/Kim. Like Russell, he's a new user of Here.com's hearing aids and says he loves the Horizon devices and is glad someone he trusts recommended something so great and life-changing. And Jerry raves about how the in-home exam made this process so convenient, and most important is the fact that he actually uses his new hearing aids. He says they're extremely comfortable in comparison to the old ones, and he even forgets they're there. Now, what are you waiting for? With insurance and flexible financing options, along with a 100% money-back guarantee, getting great hearing aids has never been easier. Here.com has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and a 4.9 Consumer Affairs rating. Plus, Here.com's batteries are rechargeable, have Bluetooth built in so you can stream music and phone calls directly to your hearing aids. See if you qualify for a 45-day no-risk trial at Here.com/Kim. That's Here.com/Kim, HEAR.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good today. We had a dry cold front drop through. That'll keep us a little bit cooler, low to mid-70s, and a little gusty, but plenty of sunshine. Mid-40s and clear for the overnight hours. We'll be hitting about 80 for the afternoon high on Saturday. Not as windy and lots of sun. Low 50s and clear for Saturday night. Sunday looks good, warming up a little bit, upper 80s and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Travis County Sports Report. Got some football going on over the weekend. Undefeated Dexter tonight playing their final regular season game. There are 9-0 overall. The Demons 5-0 in District 2 and taking on Hatch Valley. The Chili Peppers are 5-3, 2-2 overall. I know they're the Bears. NMMI playing at Hot Springs tonight at 7 o'clock. NMMI is 6-2 overall, 3-1 in district play. They do have another game at the following this week, unlike Dexter. Roswell playing tomorrow at Mayfield. This might be a good game. Roswell is riding high after beating Artesia on the road last week, 44-40. The Coyotes 6-1 overall, 4-1 in district. Gateway Christian 8-man football playing at Hagerman. The regular season finale, the Warriors are 5-2 overall, 3-2 in district play. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. U.S. business activity increased in October amid strong demand, and firms raised prices for goods and services at the lowest pace in nearly 4.5 years, indicating that the economy started the fourth quarter in solid shape. Striking workers' rejection of Boeing's latest contract offer hit shares across the U.S. aerospace sector on Thursday, raising doubts about the company's efforts to stabilize its finances and restore its battered image. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration was investigating whether Taylor Farms, a supplier for McDonald's, was the possible source of the E. coli outbreak linked to Quarter Pounder hamburgers, which has killed at least one person and sickened nearly 50 others. Hasbro has surpassed Wall Street estimates for third quarter profit, benefiting from cost controls and strong digital gaming demand, even as weaker consumer spending on toys hurt third quarter sales. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Attention, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford knows recovering from an unexpected natural disaster is stressful, and our hearts go out to everyone who experienced loss due to the flooding. The damage left behind is devastating, but we're already seeing what it means to be Roswell strong, and we acknowledge and appreciate the heroic efforts of local authorities, first responders, and National Guard rescue teams. We've already received and continue to receive special shipments of new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles available for immediate delivery during our massive Super Tent Sale. It's at our temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. These new and pre-owned vehicles without flood damage are being offered to the public at unprecedented savings. We've instructed our staff to take any car in any condition. In fact, even if it doesn't run, we'll come get it and give you a generous allowance toward a new Ford or high-quality pre-owned vehicle. And we'll work with your insurance company to help you get what you deserve at Roswell Ford's temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. Thank you.
There's nothing more magical than 80,000 cubic feet of hot air flying overhead, hearing the burners shoot propane and inflate the envelope of beautiful colors right before your eyes. Whether this is your family's lifelong tradition or you are new to Southeast New Mexico, make plans to join us for Balloons and Tunes at Eagle Drop Park at dawn on Saturday and Sunday morning, November 2nd and 3rd. Seeing the balloons is just the start, but join us to hear the tunes too. Artesia Chamber, Artesia Main Street, and Artesia Arts Council have partnered up to bring you a concert event Friday, November 1st that will surely get you in the mood for hot air balloons. Join us at the corner of 5th and Texas Street for Balloons, Bands, and Brews, where you'll enjoy food, New Mexico brews, and live music, including the Artesia High School Marching Band, playing along with our hot air balloon pilots. All events are weather permitting, and more information can be found at artesiachamber.com. Balloons and Tunes, November 2nd and 3rd in Artesia, New Mexico. Book hotels direct for the best rates. Ad paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
At Artesia General Hospital, we know it's early, but schedule your mammogram today and save. Call 855-RAD-EXAM and save 10% off mammograms scheduled through October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And get a refreshing drink discount from Kith & Kin in Artesia or Blue House in Carlsbad. We use leading-edge, FDA-approved Genius 3D mammography technology to deliver more accurate results faster and with more comfort. Women over 40 do not need a referral for yearly screenings. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/mammogram.
The octopus and the squid both have 3 hearts. That's why they eat so many Tums. Here's Mike Winters.
Good morning, 7:59, and before we get you into top of the hour news here, looking for maybe a place to kick back and watch a little football this weekend, whether it's NFL football on Sunday college football on Saturdays or high school football Fridays, Game Day Roswell. That's your number one destination. The kitchen's open with all your favorite snacks and appetizers, and a stocked bar full of beers and spirits with happy hour pricing all the time, including $4 bottles, $5 16-ounce tap, and you can try the Game Day signature shot, which is a cinnamon Rocky Mountain honey whiskey. They are open Monday through Friday and at 3, Saturdays at 11, and Sundays at 10:30. They're located at 913 South Sunset, right next to Uncle Sud's Laundry, right here in Roswell. So especially with maybe had a rough week, kick back and watch a little football, enjoy a little downtime this weekend at Game Day Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. On the presidential campaign trail, both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris held large rallies last night. The former president spoke to thousands of people in Las Vegas.
With your vote in this election, we will end inflation. We, all of us together, we will stop the invasion. And we will bring back the American dream, something you haven't heard about for about 4 years.
In Atlanta, the vice president was joined by former President Barack Obama.
Make no mistake, we will win. We will win. We will win. Or as a certain former president would say, yes, we can.
U.S. House Speaker Mike Johnson believes November 5th is shaping up to be a great day for Republicans. He's been traveling the country over recent months and tells the Salem Media Group program This Week on the Hill with Tony Perkins, there's excitement in the air.
By the end of this week, I will have done campaign events in over 240 cities and 40 states. And no matter where I go, Tony, and I'm spending all the time right now in the swing districts and the toss-up districts, the blue areas of the country, there is an energy out there that is difficult to overstate. I mean, there really is just a lot of excitement out there. I think the fuel for that excitement is that people are fed up and they are fired up about all the problems facing the country, and they know who to blame for it.
Speaker Johnson's full interview will air on radio stations nationwide this weekend and can be seen at 10 a.m. Eastern Time tomorrow on the Salem News Channel. The death toll has risen to at least 65 in the northwestern Philippines after a tropical storm. Forecasters fear the storm may be pushed back by high-pressure winds and make a U-turn. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Re-elected Donald Trump says he would fire special counsel Jack Smith right away.
In an interview with the Salem Radio Network Thursday morning, the former president was asked what he would do if he had to choose on his first day in office between firing Smith or pardoning himself.
It's so easy. I would fire him within 2 seconds. He'll be one of the first. Will you pardon Hunter Biden? I wouldn't take it off the books.
Mr. Trump interviewed by Salem Radio Network talk show host Hugh Hewitt. Trump was indicted by a federal grand jury last year on 4 counts in the election investigation, but the case won't go to trial before the 2024 election. If Trump wins, the Merrick Garland-appointed Smith probably will not get the chance to bring the criminal case against him. And though the classified documents case has been dismissed, Smith is appealing. Bernie Bennett in Washington.
Early trading on Wall Street has the Nasdaq ahead by 256 points. The Dow is also pushing higher. News and analysis at townhall.com. Russia's central bank has raised its key interest rate by 2 percentage points, hitting a record high 21%.
It's an attempt to combat growing inflation as government spending on the military strains the economy's capacity to produce goods and services and drives up workers' wages. The central bank said, quote, growth in domestic demand is still significantly outstripping the capabilities to expand the supply of goods and services. The bank noted inflation is running considerably above the Bank of Russia's July forecast, and inflation expectations continue to increase. It held out the prospect of more rate increases in December. Jeremy House reporting.
The owner and manager of the cargo ship that caused the Baltimore Bridge collapse have agreed to pay more than $100 million, settling a lawsuit that was brought by the Department of Justice. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The deuce.
The bell worked very well right there.
It really did. It was, I think it felt that there was another musician in the building, and it's like I need to
a game.
Get my toe in gear.
Maybe it's happy it's Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But, welcome. Mornings with Mike Winters. Right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Sorry, I got squirrel with the bell. Happy Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We made it here. It is. Hope everyone's doing okay. Weather's going to be a little cooler today.
Cooler today, a little cooler weekend as well.
Yeah.
Bit of a
Although
busy
by
weekend.
Sunday it's going to be hot again.
Yeah.
So today's 72, tomorrow's 78, and then we're 87 on Sunday.
Yep.
So it kind of dips and then back up there.
But remember, if you are taking the kids out to trick or treat tomorrow, it's going to be a little cooler when the sun goes down. So
yeah, are kids going trick or treating?
It's the unofficial trick or treating day, or trick or treating, trunk or treats.
I know they have those, but I didn't know if on Thursday are kids actually going to go.
Probably, you'll probably see a good amount of them on.
I think the door-to-door knocking is probably not till Thursday, but all your trunk or treats or fall festivals and things like that will be happening.
Of course, if you've ever been a parent, you know that planning anything on a school night is just a hassle. I mean, because you got to go and do the thing, and then also get them fed, get them cleaned up, get them, read and ready for bed and all that.
But from the other perspective, it's like, oh, now do I got to be candy monitor on Saturday and Thursday? Or, that's a lot.
It is. But, and I guess the mindset is, either we're going to celebrate on Saturday or we're going to celebrate on Thursday. I don't think a lot of people do both.
I think, what'll happen is, my lights will be off on Saturday. They'll be on Thursday or vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Of course, and I've said this before, if you end up at Mike's front door, you're looking for Mike.
Yeah, I have yet to have a trick-or-treater in the years that... now, pull back the curtain. I'm usually not home.
Right.
It's my wife's birthday also on Halloween. So, generally, I'm doing birthday festivities. But...
and you would think for somebody whose birthday was on Halloween, it would be a much bigger deal for you guys.
Yeah.
But it just seems to be it's the birthday thing.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're at with it.
In fairness, you do find a pretty clear, open schedule when it comes to most restaurants.
This is true.
Not a lot of people hitting up the Texas Roadhouse on Halloween.
And but my wife has confessed as a young child, she thought people got candy because of her birthday,
Which
not
is
because of Halloween.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, you're welcome.
Happy Kim's birthday to you.
My brother-in-law, for the first decade of his life, swore up and down that he got fireworks on his birthday every year because 4th of July.
Yeah.
They were all for him. He's like, yeah, I'm a pretty important guy.
Absolutely.
That's a big drop-off in ego, though, when you find out, oh, it's not about me, is it? Oh.
Yeah, that's a hard lesson, Dave.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
the world does not, in fact, revolve around me.
Some people still learn that lesson.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
No, honestly, the best thing in the world, have some kids. Because you'll start seeing those tendencies, and you look at your child and you go, Rhiannon, the world doesn't revolve around you. Oh, my God. It's like you have these points of realization. Like, oh, I get it now.
That's what I did.
You'll also find, you'll find a lot more empathy towards your own parents after having your own children.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you realize, my dad wasn't such a bad guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't ever murder me,
And
so
this is
I
why
think we're good.
9 times out of 10, grandparents always circumnavigate whatever you're trying to do because they said, yeah, remember this about 20 years ago? So that's why grandparents do what they do.
Meanwhile, you find yourself hitting those same lines. You're like, I hope your children are 10 times worse than you were.
Oh, yeah, those curses have been generational.
And they were, too.
Wait till you have kids. But aside from Halloween, of course, Jazz Festival is ongoing. And, of course, I think people yesterday, it's been with the flood and everything, it's been a lot on people's brains. And then, people were downtown yesterday like, I'm hearing music. And we got jazz musicians downtown
was a real
playing.
Oh, yeah moment. It's like, oh, that's right. Jazz Festival's this weekend.
So, but it does continue today, tomorrow through Sunday. And, of course, we're going to have John join us here in just a few and chit-chat about what's happening at Jazz Festival. It is still on despite what Mother Nature has handed us here this past week or so. But also, don't forget football as well.
Yes.
We've got tonight, Goddard is hosting Artesia at the Wool Bowl tonight. We'll have that game for you on our sister station, 106.1 FM Fierro. You can catch live streaming video of that broadcast, the Goddard Rocket version in the Goddard Rocket channel at ksvptv.com, the Artesia Bulldog version in the Bulldog channel at ksvptv.com.
Yes.
Roswell Coyotes will be in action tomorrow afternoon. They travel to Las Cruces to take on Mayfield. We will have that game for you right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. Pregame will start around 12:40 or so. We'll also have live streaming video of that game in the Roswell Coyote channel at ksvptv.com.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well, too. So we'll have it. No Portales Rams, ENMU Greyhound football. Not Portales Rams, not the high school. ENMU Greyhound football.
Yep, them's the ones.
That's the one I meant to say. We will not be carrying their game on Saturday because it conflicts with the Coyote broadcast. So we'll be sharing Coyote for you. All right. It is 12 minutes after 8 o'clock. Oh, something else I wanted to mention real quick before I do weather. Here tomorrow, when you're out and about trunk-or-treating and fall festivaling, swing on by Foxworth Galbraith here on Main Street. Tomorrow between 1 and 3 p.m., they're having a Halloween trunk-or-treat there at the Foxworth Galbraith Home Improvement Center. You can come on by for safe trick-or-treating, pumpkin decorating, games like Spin the Wheel, giveaways, and a ton of fun for the whole family.
Guess which hand? War. Fun games.
That's right.
That's all we're saying.
Yeah, but more fun than that one.
What number am I thinking of? All those.
And plus, for arts and crafts, they've got Halloween arts and crafts and stuff for everyone to enjoy as well, too. So swing on by where the pros go for great service, experienced help, and competitive prices. Foxworth Galbraith right here in Roswell, New Mexico. And you know what? While the kids are trunk-or-treating, if you need to get some supplies, to some paint, some cleanup thing, kill two birds there with one stone, I guess.
I know. It's first world problems compared to everybody else's nonsense.
Yeah.
But the front, the board on my front steps is swollen, so I can't act. It's a real hard time to get my door opened and closed. So I need to go and get the materials to tack down my board on my front porch just so I can even open my door. I've been having to use my back door to get in and out of my house the last couple of days.
Maybe
so trip to Foxworth Galbraith might be in order this weekend.
Let the kids play, and you're up there picking up some hardware supplies there. But yeah, absolutely. All right, it is 8:14. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good today. We had a dry cold front drop through. That'll keep us a little bit cooler, low to mid 70s and a little gusty, but plenty of sunshine. Mid 40s and clear for the overnight hours. We'll be hitting about 80 for the afternoon high on Saturday. Not as windy and lots of sun. Low 50s and clear for Saturday night. Sunday looks good, warming up a little bit. Upper 80s and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 57 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 49%. Winds getting a little breezy out of the north at 15 miles per hour. Sunny today. Highs expected to hit the low 70s, 72 officially. Winds will be out of the north, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, skies will be clear. Expect an overnight low of 47 degrees with east winds at around 5 miles per hour. For your Saturday, a little bit warmer, mostly sunny, 78 for a high. Winds out of the east, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, skies will be clear with an overnight low of 52 degrees. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then warming back up for Sunday, mostly sunny, 87 for a high. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. And Monday, we'll hit 90 again, is what they're saying. Mostly sunny, 91. But by midweek, we're back down into the mid-70s. 90 for Monday, upper 80s for Tuesday, but by Wednesday, mid-70s, low 70s by Thursday of next week. So little roller coaster for the temps here. Highs, lows, we're in the middle of a low. We'll back in a high Sunday, and then midweek next week, back down in the low. All right, 8:16, we're going to take a quick 2.5-minute break, and then on the other side of the break, we'll have John Amistad join us here with the Roswell Jazz Festival. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Attention, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford knows recovering from an unexpected natural disaster is stressful, and our hearts go out to everyone who experienced loss due to the flooding. The damage left behind is devastating, but we're already seeing what it means to be Roswell strong, and we acknowledge and appreciate the heroic efforts of local authorities, first responders, and National Guard rescue teams. We've already received and continue to receive special shipments of new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles available for immediate delivery during our massive Super Tent sale. It's at our temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. These new and pre-owned vehicles without flood damage are being offered to the public at unprecedented savings. We've instructed our staff to take any car in any condition. In fact, even if it doesn't run, we'll come get it and give you a generous allowance toward a new Ford or high-quality pre-owned vehicle. And we'll work with your insurance company to help you get what you deserve at Roswell Ford's temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. Thank you.
You there! What are these?
My glasses, Your Highness. They're
incredible. Who made these?
The eyesight in Roswell. Or was it Hobbs? Or maybe Carlsbad.
So well crafted and stylish. So the eyesight thinks they can challenge my throne with their quality eyewear.
Actually, Your Majesty, I got 2 pair and an eye exam. It was so easy. I did it during my lunch break, and they even took my insurance.
Lunch break? Who gave you a lunch break?
Human resources, Your Majesty.
Silence! I'll get you eyesight!
The Eyesight, now accepting new patients 5 and up in Roswell, Hobbs, and Carlsbad.
3 locations?
Clearly the best in sight.
So your pecans aren't as big and bountiful as they used to be? Well, what would Jim Gill do?
Hi, this is Ben from Roswell Seed Company. Few people knew as much about pecans as Jim Gill. And if he were here today, he'd tell you it was time to fertilize. He'd tell you just what you need and show you how to use it. Then he'd make some joke about your neighbors making fun of your nuts.
So when there's trouble with your pecans, head for Roswell Seed Company and ask them, what would Jim Gill do?
The tool used to measure your feet at the shoe store is called a Brannock device. The person that measures your feet at home for no reason is called a creep with a foot fetish. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, talking Roswell Jazz Festival, which is, in case you haven't noticed, underway here. John Amistey back with us. Good morning. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. How are you this morning? It's great to be here.
It is nice. The weather's beautiful now.
Lovely.
And I would say, if you happen to have been out and about downtown yesterday, it was just very nice.
It was very nice. A little warm, but nice.
Yeah, weather was beautiful. I mean, obviously, cleanup efforts are still going on, so they're sweeping and cleaning up. But it was just neat to see the city doing its thing, and then right in the middle of it is a jazz band just entertaining all that hang out and pass by and just are stopping by to enjoy the music a little.
We are very fortunate to have that space, Reichman Park, a little pocket park there right in the middle of downtown, where we can put on a show.
Yeah, and it's been that's always been a jazz festival staple.
Yes.
That's always, yes, there's concerts at venues and we got them this, but, a Pecos Flavor, I think that's sold out, but I think the Liberty still got some ticket availability at some of their shows. But there's a lot of those free events, like at Reichman Park, pretty much every day through the festival, on the courthouse lawn in the evenings, which they'll be out there again this weekend doing shows all weekend out there.
That is right. We will have the official opening at 12 noon today.
All right, so it's technically not officially opened yet.
No,
that was pre.
We've had a day and a half of music.
Pre-gaming.
The mayor will do the proclamation at noon on the courthouse steps.
Very good. So we'd love to have people come out if you're out in downtown. It's right around lunchtime, so maybe grabbing something to eat downtown and come out and.
It'll be a beautiful afternoon, a beautiful day.
Absolutely, and by the way, the music's going to be beginning about 10 o'clock this morning, I think.
The music begins at 10 o'clock in Reichman.
And it'll go on pretty much all afternoon. So if you're looking for a spot to hang out, maybe get on down, grab a sandwich or something from the downtown merchants or food truck.
It works well.
And
it does.
Come enjoy some music and kind of picnic in the park or picnic in Reichman. Or maybe, you could even probably get away with being over in the courthouse.
Oh, I think so. I'm just right across the street.
If you want to downtown hanging out here and be a part of it. But if you kind of want to see the official schedule, and if you do want to try to get tickets for some of the evening shows, for like you said, we have limited availability right now, but there's a few shows that do have some tickets left. Go to roswelljazz.org.
That is right.
That is the official website for Jazz Festival. Now, I know we have the flyers and the books out, and you probably see those. Unfortunately, those were printed and put out before flooding.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times and venues may be a little different in here. That's why we want to steer you to the roswelljazz.org website, because that's and right in the middle up top there's the tabs.
Right.
There's one that says official schedule.
Right.
When you click that, and then you can see by day what's going on at where and what place.
And that's where you can find out more information about the musicians.
Yeah.
About the history of the Roswell Jazz Festival, which is an interesting history.
Yeah, and that's something, too, is you don't realize you kind of have a who's who of jazz in the Southwest part of the United States.
Of the United States, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
sitting right here in your parks and downtown and in your restaurants and the lounges.
That's right.
Yeah.
These are top level people.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's kind of like if you think about it and say like country artists, where it's like going over here and Reba McEntire's performing over here, and you got I don't know. Conway Twitty or something over here. You know what I mean? It's literally that. That's what we're talking about as far as level of jazz musicians.
That is right. These are top-ranked people.
Yeah. So if you really want to see the best that really is doing jazz right now, walk around Roswell this weekend.
Roswell is the place.
And what I also love, too, is because you guys do it in places like Reichman Park and the courthouse lawn. Let's face it, there's probably, when you look at the populace of people, jazz is niche as far as what people listen to on a regular.
It is these days, but it's having a moment.
And that's what I'm kind of saying. I think it's introducing it to new generations of people, to people that maybe just, or they had a very limited exposure to it. And if you're a musician, and I don't care what you play, from orchestral to a country rock band or or high school band.
Right.
Jazz, it's all part of the history. All of it begats this. When you look at anything rock and roll, certainly.
Right.
Jazz is all in the bones and the veins of that.
I was talking to a new audience member Wednesday night at our blues night.
Mm-hmm.
He said he didn't know much, and I said, well, there are a couple of things about blues that we open with. One is, everybody sort of knows the words, life's terrible, my woman done me wrong. But there are certain aspects of the musical form, and if you listen, you'll hear the licks and the patterns that were picked up in 50s rock.
Absolutely.
I mean, just coming straight out of blues.
Absolutely. Well, you look at like who's who of rock and roll, your Elvises and things like. Guess where all their influences come from?
Buddy Holly,
jazz, blues, gospel,
all those guys.
Yeah, this is the stuff that is basically the foundation of rock and roll music.
Right.
Which, by the way, then look at rock and you look at rap, and all of it kind of begats itself, and it's all starting in the soil that is jazz and blues and those kinds of types of music here. So I think as a musician, you definitely need to come and see this and be a part of it. And I'm going to also expose as much, because I think you're going to be, I have a greater appreciation for jazz, and I'm going to even take a stab that you might even put a song or two on your iTunes or whatever you got that you listen to music on the regular on there.
Right. Well, maybe I'll say this on air, if we can do this again next year, we'll do a little name that tune for a ticket or two.
Oh, that would be really fun.
Would you be willing to do that?
Absolutely. I think that would
I'll
be
bring in a clip, and people can call in.
Absolutely.
Name that tune, and it won't be one of the ones that everybody knows, but it won't be totally.
It won't be obscure either.
Yeah, right.
It'll be something that.
But we could do that.
I think it'd be a lot of fun, because I also think it would surprise a lot of people and be like, I did not know that was kind of got jazz roots, or that was kind of where that started.
Right.
It is so much of that and that history and all.
Well,
that.
I'll plan on that. I'll bring in a tune on a thumb drive if you can do that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we can get it put on the computer here and everything else too. Absolutely. So we were talking about history and history. So let me ask you a little bit of that. And I'm not native to Roswell here. So how did Roswell become this mecca this time of year for jazz musicians to come and perform? How did that all evolve to
Two words: Hurricane Katrina.
Okay. That was kind of so. Well, you know what? Which is a sweet bit of irony that we have a flood this weekend.
I don't know. It's sweet, but
you know what I mean.
I do.
Life, it seemed a lot of mirror in here.
Right. Well, as it turns out, a well-known jazz musician in New Orleans, of course, had to find a place to stay.
Okay.
And he called an old Army buddy who happened to be in Roswell, a guy named Frank Slaughter, who was a longtime English teacher at Roswell High.
Nice.
And so Roger Dickerson in New Orleans needed a place to stay. The Slaughters took him in. And he stayed here and he played, and there were a couple of musicians here, and they got together and
he kind of put a stank on the city is what he kind of did.
And jammed, and he jammed, they jammed, and somebody said, well, why don't we do a festival?
Wow.
And here we are.
Nice. So it's got roots to really where many people think the pulse, the heart of jazz music is right there in New Orleans.
Absolutely.
And all of that. And, because you ask any American and you think, where's the mecca for jazz? And it's like,
New Orleans.
New Orleans. That's where, generations of that's in the blood there. But,
so that's the short version of
interesting
how it happened here in Roswell.
So our jazz festival is infused in the blood. That is really where the heart of jazz is. So,
that is absolutely right.
Cool. So, man, now all we need to do is see if we can get maybe maybe for next year, some of our local restaurants, and we can work on like gumbo and various.
Maybe we can do that.
Creole cuisine for the jazz festival. I think that'd be
That's right.
Yeah. Plus, be excuse to eat crawdads for folks.
Yeah. Well, might not have those, but who knows?
Well, you gotta be careful. We are a landlocked state.
Yeah.
Seafood. You gotta be careful there. But folks, this weekend it's going on. It's continuing today. Really. Beginning at 10 a.m., it's kicking back up all day today here. And like you said, at noon here today is when we're going to officially kick off the jazz festival
Right.
for this year. The mayor will do the proclamation, and I'm sure then right after that, the band's fire back up.
The band is going to play. The band will play, and we'll sell T-shirts, and we have a great T-shirt and great caps, and of course we'll appeal for support. We will present our first ever scholarship winner.
Oh, great!
We have a special fund, and we sent a young man who plays who's at Goddard High to the jazz camp, the well-known jazz camp at the University of North Texas in Denton.
Wow.
And
So,
we will present him, and we are preparing that next
generation of jazz music?
Yes, we are.
Just idly curious, what instrument does he play?
He's a clarinetist.
Okay, because I was thinking sax or,
he's a reed player.
Those jazz instruments, the ones in there. I'm sure he doesn't come in there, he plays.
So we will be happy to present him.
Excellent.
He's a Roswell kid, and that's what we want.
Very good. So I imagine he'll be tooting his own horn, pardon the pun.
He will be there.
Playing some and probably entertaining as well, and giving all. And so that's something you don't want to miss.
Right.
So let me ask. All right, you, John, as the jazz fan and everything else, what is your high water mark of the weekend? What's like? Is there an artist? Is there a event that you're like? Come hell or high water, I'm sitting.
Well, I really take in everything. And,
sure, I know, but I'm sure you got to like the one seed in your.
Well,
and I know you don't want to play favorites.
Yeah. No, all of these guys are so good. My special, the ones that I take special care of, since I seem to be, the one facilitating and making everything go right.
Sure,
is the bass players. I am a bass player.
Okay, so you kind of draw there.
So, and I don't have time, for one thing, to play on the stage at these events.
Well, you got to get someone else to organize them.
But yeah.
Awesome. So you're basically I'm whatever band are up there. I'm staring at the bass player.
I'm listening to the bass players,
studying and picking up tips and everything else.
Absolutely,
as well,
that is right.
Because that's I don't care what anything you do, whether you're a quarterback or a bass player or a chef. Every one of you are like, let me see what that person's doing. Maybe I can.
The essence of jazz. Well, one of several essences of jazz is the formula is you lay out a musical theme and then you pass it around, and each guy takes that theme and does a riff on it.
Okay.
I mean, that's really the essence of jazz. It's improvisational in that sense. And what's interesting, all these guys, people that we bring in, they often know each other. They stand around and they listen to each other and admire what each one does, even not on the same instrument that they play, to see, hey, yeah, that was a real neat lick and a real neat variation that you did on that theme.
Well, and that's where discovery happens.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of, and I would even probably argue that if you look at since rock and roll just has to, you look at like the history of rock bands,
right?
And you can kind of tell the bands that have like the one person that's in control of everything. Generally speaking, those bands, they shoot up hard and they crash hard. Right. You know what I mean? Those bands that are the true collaborative efforts. Those are the bands you see playing 10, 20, 30, 40 years and they're still relevant.
Right.
It's exactly what John's talking about what's going on in those studios.
Well, and sometimes they play games with each other. I was giving one of our guys bad time last night because the tune on the set was one everybody knows, Sweet Georgia Brown.
Yeah.
Well, one of our great trombone players came time to do his solo, and he started off and he worked in 2 measures of an Ellington tune, which is different, which is called Caravan.
Okay.
And I told him afterwards, Dan, I didn't know that Georgia Brown had a caravan. And he burst out laughing because he was playing a game with the other guys.
But the funny part is even when that's going on, next thing you know, that created the riff that just created that song.
Well, and somebody else picks it up.
Yeah, and it feeds off. But even still, that's like, when you look at even in more, today and other genres of music where you see people collaborating and stuff, and now it's more commonplace, where this kind of stuff's going on just probably in bar rooms.
Well, it's
and
on
stuff.
the fly.
Yeah,
it's on the fly.
But it's going on in basements and bar rooms or wherever
Right.
these jazz bands could find a place to get together and practice.
Right.
And so it's kind of, again, that foundation, the origins,
Right.
things you see.
Well, that's what gives it its charm.
Yeah, the music you're hearing on the radios and and listening on your phones nowadays, it's all infused in jazz. It's all got the roots. It's all begat from that.
Right.
And so that's why you should make this weekend. And a lot of this is free. I mean, there's some events to sing, but a lot of
it's the same musicians at the free events that are at the ticketed events.
Yeah.
If you go to a free event, you're not getting the B team.
Yes, you're getting exactly. You're still getting and it's the beauty of it, because these are all artists and they love to play.
They do.
And it doesn't matter if it's in a building with 200 people or out in the park with however many people just have to be. They love doing it. And I'm going to even argue some of the artists probably prefer sitting out in the park playing to be in that, because it's kind of a wing it. I mean, our concert venues are small enough and intimate enough where they really get to free flow anyway. But when you're out in the park, it's different. You know.
Well, what I mean? and we have worked hard to preserve the jazz club atmosphere and setting.
Not the concert hall, but
exactly.
But the lounge, the speakeasy.
And Roswell's great for that, because we have a number of venues in a close area that fit.
Well, that's true. That's something, and we've talked about this year, and the Roswell arts community is very strong, and the music scene to your other arts as well,
right.
too. It's a very I would argue we're kind of a little up north with Taos and Santa Fe and some of those. We have that uniqueness that they are known for. We have a lot of that here. Yeah, we have a lot of that here. And so it kind of makes events like this work, because like you said, there's literally 3 or 4 venues within 3 blocks of each other that you could literally do a jazz crawl and walk around and just hit it, and as you're doing it, hop by and visit downtown and hit some stores or grab a drink or whatever.
Right.
That's it's an amazing thing, and it's really just kind of like a weekend under the stars, just hanging out, enjoying the music and enjoying the vibe of what's going on around the community. And then you step into the Liberty or into the winery or to Peppers, and
they're all right here.
And next thing you know, there's someone in there doing a show, and you're having dinner. It's just that's what this weekend's all about. And it started yesterday. It'll continue all day today, all day on Saturday and Sunday as well here too. RoswellJazz.org is if you're trying to plot and plan, you're like, all right, I gotta, because if you're like a jazz purist and you're like, I gotta catch this artist, you might need to get on the website. That way you can plot and plan and get your schedule of attack there to go and see all this stuff. But just go and check it out and say, oh, they're doing a free show here. Let's go.
Let's go see.
Yeah,
let's go here.
Hey, tonight let's go grab dinner somewhere and then go check out the show at the courthouse lawn or something like that.
Right.
Yeah. So, is there any information, anything that I got a sidebarred on or anything, John, that you want to definitely make sure the public knows?
The only thing I would say is that each afternoon or evening consists of various sets with various combinations of musicians.
Okay.
And so you're not normally going to hear just one thing, except for maybe our blues night.
Okay.
That is, you're going to go from Dixieland to very traditional jazz to, on occasion, a Latin tune, on occasion a more modern jazz tune.
Okay.
And so you will hear variety at every event.
So this is all jazz, all forms, all niches of jazz.
We're not off into the truly modern stuff.
Gotcha.
But up to a certain point, yes, it's a variety of styles.
And this kind of and again, because really this jazz festival, it's to celebrate jazz, obviously,
right?
But it's also to plant the seeds for the next generation of musicians. So that's why you kind of want that variety. You want to say, that's jazz too. You may not have thought that was jazz. Maybe you thought that was more whatever.
Right.
And so you kind of, and this is, again, to that point, it getting you to see all spectrums of jazz and what it comes and where it started and what's evolved to.
Yeah.
And that's really what that you come out. So like you said, if I'm sure there's folks, especially your folks have been longtime jazz fans, they probably got their niches or certain.
Oh, everybody does.
Yeah, and so please understand that not only are they trying to appeal to you, but to everyone. So when you say, man, you need more of this, but we want to get it all here. So, So
and of course that variety, it's largely due. I talked about the origin with Roger Dickerson, and that was 17 years ago. Actually 18 or 19 because we skipped the pandemic years.
Yes.
But a lot of it is also due to our music director, Mike Francis, who knows the musicians, professional musician himself. He's the one that puts these groups and programs together.
Well, he's been on the show multiple times.
And he has, yes.
He's a pro in every sense of the word when it comes to music and everything else. And to be honest, I'm guessing you probably couldn't pull this off without support from folks like him and a few others in town.
Well, others in town. Our board, the program you'll see on the website, our board, there are names that are well known in Roswell that really do support us and work hard for us.
And this is something too is this has all kind of been working with the cleanups. I know you guys have been kind of helping out where you can on some of that kind of stuff too, despite we got a festival to pull on too.
Yeah, we got a festival, but
so I just want to invite folks, hey, if you need a break from all of this.
Need a break, forget about it all for a while, listen to some good music.
Come on downtown. There's going to be lots of free music, get food and things. I mean, just maybe kick back a little bit and take the night off from cleaning up and enjoy some music, or spend the day out here tomorrow and enjoy some music. But this is kind of where I was starting at the beginning of this. It was almost poetic yesterday to have that, and it's kind of it's like, should we do this? I don't know. But now that you said no, we're going through it. It's like, I'm glad you did, because
we made a decision. I mean, we had a lot of late phone calls and a lot of late conversations. Sure. Can we really do this this weekend? And we decided, we can.
Yeah. Well, and let's face it, like we said, because let's face it, we got so many artists and musicians coming to town, and like we said, they're not all here in Roswell. They're
not
all over.
And the airport was a consideration.
They were closed for a couple days there. Right. So, yes, there was a lot of moving parts, and a lot of people said, we're going to roll up our sleeves, and we're going to make this happen one way or the other. And it was kind of the we didn't know we needed it till it came on, and now we realize we need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me right now.
Yeah.
So, please, let's bring a little light to the weekend. Come and enjoy some great music, some great people, and great just come in and kick back and celebrate humanity a little bit with some jazz.
We'll be happy to see you.
Yeah.
And we'll provide some good music.
Absolutely. Again, go to roswelljazz.org. That is the website for the Jazz Festival. If you want to see the updated and official schedule for the events this weekend, just click on that tab in the middle top of the page. It says official schedule, and you can see who's playing where at what time and how to get tickets if tickets are required.
Right.
So, good deal. Did we get it all, John?
I think we got most of it.
Excellent. Well, thank you, sir, as always. And yes, like you said, next year let's do some of that. We'll do and maybe maybe we could even what even might be fun is maybe a jump drive. Maybe if we have a local artist just come with you and play like a bar, live in studio, and say, hey, with that,
and I've got the perfect one.
Maybe
I've got the.
And if we have a couple, we can let them play a song or two and say, all right, play a bar and see if someone can guess this. Maybe that'd be fun.
I'll bring Vinny Raniolo and play the guitar.
There we go. Now we just pick a date for next year. We'll see you next year with that.
We just figured it all out.
John, appreciate it. And have fun this weekend and holler if we can help. And folks, come be a part. Come celebrate jazz and celebrate Roswell.
Okay.
That's really what it is.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
Anytime. It is 8:43. Let's pause for news. Chaves County Sports Update, your Red Apple Market, and a few commercials to pay for lunch. We'll be back. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The city of Roswell is continuing to work to clear debris from last weekend's massive flooding. The city said Thursday that people should keep vehicles off the road in flooded areas. And do not place large items in trash containers. Instead, just place the items along the curb at the street, not in the alleyway. Also, materials placed out for curbside pickup must not have any overhead obstructions and have a clear radius of 8 inches around them. You'll pay more for traffic citations in Carlsbad. This week, the Carlsbad City Council voted unanimously 7-0 to increase fines by $40 for 14 various traffic offenses. Ward 2 Councilor J.J. Chavez was absent from the meeting Tuesday night, so he did not vote. 5 cases of E. coli are now confirmed in New Mexico, with 1 death after a food safety alert was tied to McDonald's Quarter Pounders. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. Got some football going on over the weekend. Undefeated Dexter tonight playing their final regular season game. There are 9-0 overall. The Demons 5-0 in District 2 and taking on Hatch Valley. The Chili Peppers are 5-3. 2-2 overall. I know they're the Bears. NMMI playing at Hot Springs tonight at 7 o'clock. NMMI is 6-2 overall, 3-1 in district play. They do have another game at the following this week, unlike Dexter. Roswell playing tomorrow at Mayfield. This might be a good game. Roswell is riding high after beating Artesia on the road last week, 44-40. The Coyotes 6-1 overall, 4-1 in district. Gateway Christian 8-man football playing at Hagerman. The regular season finale, the Warriors are 5-2 overall, 3-2 in district play. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good today. We had a dry cold front drop through. That'll keep us a little bit cooler, low to mid 70s and a little gusty, but plenty of sunshine. Mid 40s and clear for the overnight hours. We'll be hitting about 80 for the afternoon high on Saturday. Not as windy and lots of sun. Low 50s and clear for Saturday night. Sunday looks good, warming up a little bit. Upper 80s and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report.
The S&P and NASDAQ opened slightly higher than yesterday. The Dow slightly lower. Tesla rose 21% yesterday after saying sales are up, and Elon Musk says he is working on an EV that'll sell for less than $30,000. That would make the least expensive Tesla around the same price as some gasoline-powered cars. Tesla will take over and retrofit the former Multiplex Cinemas shopping complex in College Point, Queens. A federal judge blocked Coach and Tapestry's purchase of Michael Kors of New York. The FTC said it would raise prices and hurt customers and hurt employees. The New York Federal Reserve says employment is increasing slightly, wages are rising moderately, and consumer spending is increasing slightly. They say demand for apartments in New York is still strong, and attendance at Broadway shows is almost back to pre-pandemic levels. Machinists at Boeing say they rejected a 35% raise over 4 years because they've been making concessions for years, and with inflation now, 35% over 4 years wouldn't even be a raise. And the Wall Street Journal says Starbucks may not only lower prices, but try to go back to their original coffee house atmosphere instead of being a hyper-efficient, digital, impersonal experience. I'm Joe Connolly with Business.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report. Greg Kelly here. Thousands of Americans are shielding their savings with gold. Contact the experts at Colonial Metals Group for a free 2024 gold guide that explains everything you need to know. Go to freegoldguide.com/Kelly. freegoldguide.com/Kelly. The number 800-655-5186. That's 800-655-5186 for your free gold guide, and learn if you qualify for up to $7,500 in free silver right now.
At Artesia General Hospital, we know it's early, but schedule your mammogram today and save. Call 855-RAD-EXAM and save 10% off mammograms scheduled through October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And get a refreshing drink discount from Kith & Kin in Artesia or Blue House in Carlsbad. We use leading-edge, FDA-approved Genius 3D mammography technology to deliver more accurate results faster and with more comfort. Women over 40 do not need a referral for yearly screenings. Learn more at artesiageneral.com/mammogram.
Whether it's NFL on Thursday, Sunday, or Monday night, college football on Saturdays, or Roswell Coyote and Goddard Rocket football on Friday, Game Day Roswell is your #1 destination, with a kitchen open for all your favorite snacks and apps, and a stocked bar with a full line of beers and spirits, with happy hour pricing all the time, including $4 bottles and $5 16-ounce tap. And try the Game Day signature shot, Cinnamon Rocky Mountain Honey Whiskey, open Monday through Friday at 3, Saturdays at 11, and Sundays at 10:30 at 913 South Sunset in Roswell. Game Day, the place to go for football.
You have a life, places to go, things to do, people to see, but it's hard to enjoy life when you have pain. You don't have to live that way. Softwave Therapy from Premier Chiropractic in Roswell can help you. Softwave's cutting-edge technology is non-invasive and can help your body heal. This new technology uses therapeutic energy waves to activate the body's dormant stem cells to promote natural healing. Sessions are quick with short treatment times. Start healing today. Call Premier Chiropractic at 623-2900 or visit healthyroswell.com.
Maybe your AC unit needs a little tender loving care. If you don't know where to turn, then you don't know Jack. In fact, they're downright funky. Let the boys at Fergie's Plumbing and Heating get your AC unit ice cold, just like some of my lady friends. Don't let any fool make you lose your cool. Fergie's Plumbing and Heating. If you don't know Fergie, then you don't know Jack. 632-2660.
Coming to the Liberty on Saturday, November 2nd. Don't miss an evening with Caitlin Butts.
Like the Marfa lights.
With special guest, Nancy Haygood.
Are you ever really ready for love?
Doors open at 6 and the show starts at 8. Tickets are available at thelibertyinc.com. Get yours before they're gone. Don't miss an evening with Caitlin Butts. Saturday, November 2nd, 6 p.m. at the Liberty, 312 North Virginia in Roswell.
Check out some of the ghoulish bargains you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select jars of Classico pasta sauces are 2 for $5, and 48-ounce bags of Skinner elbow macaroni and long or thin spaghetti are $3.98 each. In produce, red or green seedless grapes are $1.99 a pound, and 3-pound bags of Washington Red Delicious apples are $1.99 each. In the meat department, Boston butt pork roasts are $1.49 a pound, and 10-pound bags of Fryer leg quarters are 69 cents a pound. These are just some of the ghoulish specials you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Late in the Apostle Paul's life, he wrote the following: "I've fought the good fight, I've finished the race, I've kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord the righteous judge will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but to all who have longed for his appearing." That is the definition of dying well. Paul had not always been a follower of Christ, but once he changed his life from persecutor to that of a man who followed Jesus to being fully dedicated, he was all in. He knew that he was forgiven, and he knew that he had lived a life of service to his Lord. He wasn't perfect, but he knew that Jesus was, and that Christ's saving grace was more than enough. You too can have that same confidence to die well. You can never earn it, but Jesus wants you to have his free gift of forgiveness. He wants all of us to be with him in heaven.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Attention, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford knows recovering from an unexpected natural disaster is stressful, and our hearts go out to everyone who experienced loss due to the flooding. The damage left behind is devastating, but we're already seeing what it means to be Roswell strong, and we acknowledge and appreciate the heroic efforts of local authorities, first responders, and National Guard rescue teams. We've already received and continue to receive special shipments of new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles available for immediate delivery during our massive Super tent sale. It's at our temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. These new and pre-owned vehicles without flood damage are being offered to the public at unprecedented savings. We've instructed our staff to take any car in any condition. In fact, even if it doesn't run, we'll come get it and give you a generous allowance toward a new Ford or high-quality pre-owned vehicle. And we'll work with your insurance company to help you get what you deserve at Roswell Ford's temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. Thank you.
Are you ready to succeed? The School of Arts and Sciences at ENMU Roswell covers a broad curriculum. The certificates and degrees offered within these programs will prepare students to realize personal, professional, and occupational objectives, from ag science and agricultural technology to behavioral science, biology, bookkeeping and accounting, business administration, criminal justice, education, and mathematics. ENMU Roswell can set you up for success. Register now on campus or online at roswell.enmu.edu. Eastern New Mexico University, Roswell. Success starts here.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 54 minutes after 8 o'clock. Got a few minutes here before top of the hour news. Also want to remind you, I've been trying to remind folks all week, and But the folks over at Gyra Ministries over at First Baptist Church, they've kept their ministries open all week. They've had hours all week and will continue through this weekend as well, 9 to 5 today and tomorrow out at First Baptist Church. If you need clothing, things like that, they've got it out there. They'll give whatever you need. So if you need those kind of things, they are open 9 to 5 today and tomorrow over there at First Baptist Church. So another place, a resource if you're in need of some stuff. They're helping out there. Couple things. I know we got a busy weekend here with all the stuff going on, Jazz Festival and football and everything. But do want to remind you, Veterans Day is right around the corner. The citywide celebration will take place on that Saturday before Veterans Day, November 9th. If you're looking at my subliminal wall, there's a poster back there. It'll be on the like normal on the Chaves County Courthouse lawn beginning at 9 a.m. with the ceremony, and then parade will start roughly around 10-ish after that. And that parade goes the opposite direction than like Fair Parade and all that. We'll start on the courthouse lawn, and we'll head north and wrap up there about College with a Wool Bowl, right around that area there. So that'll be that Saturday. And then, of course, as a matter of fact, next hour we're going to play our interview with Hayden Hill. Of course, all the schools doing their veterans assemblies. Goddard, they go over the top, so we're going to play that interview for you next hour. But on Veterans Day itself, November 11th, we had Dara Dana join us on the radio, and I'll probably play that again as we get a little closer to the 11th. But she joined us. By day, she's a county commissioner, but by night, she's a daughter of the American Revolution.
She wears a cape, it's a mask, it's a whole thing.
And be honest, it could be during the day they mix. I don't know. I didn't get the ratio. But anyway, she's a member of the Daughters of the American Revolution. And on November 11th, Veterans Day, on the courthouse lawn here at the Veterans Memorial, they're going to place a placard for the DAR there. And they're going to have a ceremony. I believe some of the NMMI choir band, they're going to be doing some stuff out there. And it'll be at 1 p.m. on Veterans Day. And it's free, doesn't cost anything, but they'd love to have you come out and be a part of the ceremony and everything. Watch it and check it out. So that'll be on Veterans Day proper there on the 11th.
The proper day.
Just a couple things put on the radar.
I like going back there that you have a name for the wall back there, the subliminal wall. It's nice.
Yeah.
Which is true, because you're like, you could just be enjoying the morning show, watching the video feed, and just in the corner of your eye, you pick up the poster. You're like,
by the way, you should take down a pickleball one. That already happened.
Now, meanwhile, if you were to take that poster down and hold it in front of the camera and just talk about it nonstop, that's called superliminal.
That's right. And I do that too.
Just forget subliminal. We're going superliminal.
That's right.
That's how we roll.
It sounds cool too. I say flame on before I do it.
Do you?
Flame on.
That's supposedly going to be coming back next year.
The Fantastic
Four, yeah.
They're going to try again?
They're going to try again. It's like the fourth time they've done it in the last 20 years, but they're going to try it again.
Speaking of movies, real quick, and I finally saw a full-on trailer for this movie, and I don't know how I feel about it yet.
Okay.
It's a Christmas movie called Red One. and it stars The Rock, and it stars.
This is already out, right? This came out, I think, last year.
I just saw commercials for it on Hulu today saying it was coming theater soon. Maybe I'm wrong. I just kept seeing advertisements like every break for it, and it's got the guy that does the State Farm commercials. Is it State Farm? The one where he's the museum and all that. He plays Santa, but there's some kind of Santa gets kidnapped, and there's like this whole commando.
J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons, thank you. It's new?
I guess this is new. I was thinking of a different movie from last year. Then.
Yeah. So I was seeing it, and it looks bad, but I still kind of am curious what's going on with this movie. And I feel like there's more stars in it too. I'm just missing.
So last year or the year before, The Rock did a movie called Red Notice.
Okay.
Nothing to do with this movie.
Okay.
Nothing at all to do with this movie. The reason I know about that movie is because they had a tie-in with WWE pay-per-view at the time where the whole thing was Vince was protecting a golden egg. Because that's the whole thing about Red Notice.
Okay.
Is this like golden egg that's worth like $78 billion was trying to be stolen or whatever.
Okay.
This is a completely different movie entirely, and I'm genuinely curious about this.
I'm not sure. It could be really. I think it's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be bad.
I'm idly want to watch it. You know me. I watch anything.
There's a full-blown panda bear in it.
I kind of curious what's going on there, but it seems like they tried to make Elf an action movie. That's what it feels like to me.
That's kind of what
we gotta get into the news here, but that's what initial trailer. Action version of Elf.
It's nice to see The Rock in red.
That's right. The fact that J.K. Simmons in it makes me feel a little better.
Mm-hmm.
I like that dude. All right. It's 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back on the other side of news. Don't go away. Santa to Oz. That's a stretch.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. With 11 days to go in the race for the White House, the two presidential candidates still have packed schedules, of course. Vice President Harris rallied thousands in Georgia last night with the help of Barack Obama and Bruce Springsteen. In Las Vegas, former President Trump spoke at a mega rally hosted by conservative group Turning Point Action. Even though polls show a neck-and-neck race in the critical swing states, Trump claimed he's ahead by big margins.
We're leading by a lot. In Nevada, we're leading by a lot. In Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin.
Harris will team up with Beyonce today for a rally in solidly Republican Texas. The focus of her Houston rally tonight will be on the state's abortion ban, a topic she addressed last night in suburban Atlanta.
Women have died because of these bans, including a young mother of a 6-year-old son right here in Georgia.
Trump will also be in Texas today. He will be interviewed by the popular podcaster Joe Rogan and will hold a press conference focused on immigration issues. The L.A. County District Attorney recommends that the life without parole sentences for Eric and Lyle Menendez be thrown out and that the brothers be resentenced and immediately eligible for parole. The brothers were convicted in the 1989 killings of their parents. The owner and manager of the cargo ship that caused the Baltimore Bridge collapse have agreed to pay more than $100 million to settle a lawsuit that was brought by the Department of Justice. The settlement does not include any damages for rebuilding the bridge. The price tag of that could be about $2 billion. The NASDAQ ahead by 248. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call Low Cost Airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
After an extended mission in space, 4 astronauts have returned home.
And splashdown. 4 astronauts are back on Earth after a nearly 8-month space mission on the International Space Station.
On behalf of SpaceX, welcome home.
The SpaceX Dragon Endeavour capsule parachuted down until the Gulf of Mexico off the Florida coast in pre-dawn darkness and was hoisted aboard a recovery vessel. The 4 crew members should have returned 2 months ago, but safety concerns with Boeing's new Starliner crew capsule, followed by bad weather from Hurricane Milton, stalled their departure. Audio courtesy NASA TV. I'm Jennifer King.
President Biden makes his first visit to Indian country today with a stop at a reservation in Arizona. The president intends to formally apologize to Native Americans for the U.S. government's role in the abuse and neglect of Native American children sent to federal boarding schools. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Greg Clugston. Italian police have arrested one of the country's most wanted drug traffickers after tracking him down to Colombia.
It was back in 2020 that Luigi Belvedere went on the run. The 34-year-old was then sentenced in his absence to more than 18 years in jail. That apparently did not deter him. Police say he continued to ship cocaine from South America to Europe. But they had a photograph of Belvedere posing by the tomb of the late Pablo Escobar, perhaps Colombia's most notorious gang leader, who came from the city of Medellin. And it was in Medellin that Belvedere was finally caught and arrested on Thursday night.
That's the BBC's Paul Moss reporting. New orders for key U.S. manufactured capital goods increased more than expected in September, but the Commerce Department says business spending on equipment likely slowed in the third quarter. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
Feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Chris Invierno.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell Talk FM. Happy Friday.
I want to address something. I looked it up yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Tres Inviernos.
Yes.
3 winners.
Okay.
To the point where there's an album called Tres Inviernos. That guy, like Crystal something or other. It's some dude. It's what it means.
Okay.
I don't care that people... I don't care what you say. It's what it means.
Yeah.
Somebody earlier this week came out and was like, oh, that's not what I don't think that means what you think it means. It does.
Okay.
Come at me. Come at me, fool. If I'm wrong, come at me, fool.
Come at me. He said, come at me, fool. Sorry, that just made me laugh.
I've spent most of my life pitying fools. We came to the result yesterday that I am the B.A. Baracus of this group.
It's true.
So most of my time is spent pitying fools, but you come at me, fool.
I just find it funny. It's just, all I can think of is, like, I just got this Tony Montana image. You know? Say hello to my little friend.
His name is Paco.
But happy Friday.
No, actually, that needs to be the phrase I use when I introduce people to my girlfriend. Say hello to my little friend. Her name is Ayana.
That's what Mike always says.
Yeah.
She's about to kick you in your knee or punch you in the knee.
She's got to drive 3 hours to get here. I got a head start. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, you're about to get a smack right into the hip section.
She's listening right now?
I hope so.
He likes a little pain.
No, I do like the ribs at her expense. Of course, in fairness, it's also really fun when I reach up and grab something off the top shelf, or even better, I've done this at her house: grab something and put it on a top shelf.
Oh no, that's wrong. Coming from a short woman.
It is.
You know what makes me laugh? That Kim does. Is sometimes.
Yeah, she's listening.
Because sometimes they have the "I don't want your help" mindset.
We're independent.
Yes,
we can do things even though we're short.
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm literally feet away, sitting there, and she'll go grab like the tongs.
Stool.
No, not even. Not even. She'll grab like the tongs you turn your chicken with or whatever.
The grabbers, yep.
And grab like a cup or whatever off a top shelf. And I've watched her do it like multiple times over the years. And I'm like, I'm right here, Kim. I just hand it to you. It's right there. But no.
I like to do things on my own. I don't want to have to rely on people.
Hey,
well, there's a few times you've dropped the thing or two on doing that, your little shenanigans.
And let her drop it. The point is she's doing it herself.
I know, I did.
Thank you, Sean.
I ain't cleaning it up either.
Independent woman. I understand.
But come on. Use the tools around you sometimes. I mean, come on.
That's what I did.
No, not that tool. That's not what that tool's for.
Ayana in the chat checking in. I will kick your shins. She'll do it too.
There you go. Us short women, we're feisty.
That's right.
We're feisty.
But in this, fellas, if you're a short man, like myself,
short king,
yeah, find yourself a short wife. And you
Yeah.
true are in it. What's it? In the land of the blind, the man with one eye is king. That's why I married a 4'11" woman.
In the land of the dwarves, the slightly taller dwarf is king.
You didn't have to say my height, but
well,
it's all
I think they
right.
see you and figure it out.
She's cruel, man. She's cruel.
But because I'm 5'8", and 5'8" is that, and to be honest, that's
not short.
It's not like tiny. It's just
My
around.
dad was that.
Yeah.
I think 5'7" to 5'8" is the average height for a man. I mean, it's the average. The
kind of, sort of depends. I don't know. I guess I hang around a lot of 6-footers. I just feel short all everywhere I go.
Mike's mom was short.
Yeah, my mom was.
She was just a tad taller than me.
Yeah, I would say they were right neck and neck. I think it depends. Whoever had the higher hairdo that day was taller. So.
But I'll never know what it's like to mind my own business when somebody needs something off a top shelf. It's always got to be me.
But I am in that creamy middle where I can get most top shelf things. But I'm low enough to the ground where the low ones don't bother me.
I have to ask and be honest. You or you.
Okay.
Have you ever climbed a shelf? Climbed a shelf at the grocery store?
I
Like
have.
in a grocery store?
Yeah.
I have. I absolutely have.
No?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
See, I can see you doing it.
I've done it.
I can see you putting your face in your hands going, God, Mike, hurry up.
Well, I've done it at least a dozen times over the course of my life.
At that point, I'll
Mostly
ask
in the
someone in the aisle if they could reach it for me. If there's no one, then I just don't get that.
Now,
item.
to be
I'm
honest,
not gonna climb.
it's probably been 15 years since I've done it. Like, it's been a while, but I know earlier in a marriage, if there was a few Tide boxes or something on the top shelf of Walmart, I'm like, I ain't waiting around. I go at the shelf and grab it. And,
Do the hop smack thing, pick it up off the ground.
yeah, sometimes. Well, it depends. Or I just monkey it up and go about 3 things up and grab it and, all right, catch it.
No, but there is that annoying moment where I'm like, I'll be looking for a specific item and they don't have it anywhere here. So I'm like, well, they usually keep the extra stock up here. So the next thing is like 10 minutes of me grabbing stuff off the top shelf. That's not it.
Got it. Yeah.
So
yeah.
That gets annoying too.
But yeah, I'm in that creamy middle. Right? I'm short. But my other problem is I have tiny hands, and so I usually get more crap about my hands.
His hands are not proportioned to his height.
But
body.
it's good because you can, put together an iPhone in a pinch. Those tiny hands, get them little screws, it's nice.
And I showed you, but Kim and I have the same size hands. I'm serious. She's
We do.
4'11", and Kim and I have the same size hands.
It's true.
See? We'll prove it for
Watch video. Here we go.
I don't know where the camera is. We'll prove it.
Bam. See? That right there? That's a connection.
See? Right there. Same size hands.
Yeah, I don't have that. Your hands maybe come to like here
right
on me. I get like to the top knuckle.
Well, and I remember when I was a kid, and my dad would try to do auto repairs, which he.
Oh my gosh!
No.
Oh no!
But like whenever he dropped things, because he would at some point in time. Old tiny hands was the one.
Old slim digits.
Was all able to get down in there and get whatever most of the time whatever he dropped, because my hands were.
Old flexi phalanges.
And my dad
over here.
was. I mean, my dad was a big dude. He was probably at his highest, 6'2"ish. He kind of shrunk as he got.
And he probably got up to 4 bills.
Yeah, I was like, Dad, and then probably in that point in our life, Dad was a larger carriage man. He was a big
guy.
Of my immediate family, I am the tallest. My dad was about an inch shorter than me at the height that I was when he passed, and I've stayed the same height. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I am the tallest of my immediate family. I think I get my height from my dad's dad, who was
because your mom's not really
she's
short, or really tall either.
Yeah, she's a tiny lady too. But my dad's dad was a big old fella.
Now your brother, is he tall too?
He ended up and we always knew he was going to be small. He was born 4 pounds 4 ounces. My mom had gestational diabetes when she was pregnant with him, so we knew he was going to be a smaller guy.
So is he around my height?
He's a little. I'd say maybe a little shorter than you.
Oh, okay. I thought he was more like 5'9".
No. There's pictures. There's pictures I've posted up where his shoulders come up to right about here on me, give or take. So yeah,
I think to be honest and pull back the curtain. I think last time I saw your brother in person, he was still a teenager.
Yeah,
that's true.
It was like 3 incarcerations ago.
Yeah. Well, what about your sister? Is she tall?
She's about average height. She's definitely taller than my mom for sure. But most are. But I'd say probably about between my mom and dad is where Penny falls. Okay. And I'm taller than her by a couple inches.
And to pull back the curtain, because my father's not my blood, so it's kind of hard to put genetics there.
Right.
But like my brother, who is my mother and my father's biological child, he is about an inch taller than me.
Okay.
So he got a little of my mom in him, because so he's a tall.
He's taller, at more than an inch taller.
He says he's 5'9".
He told me 6.
He ain't 6. He's lying out his.
Do you have any biological relatives that you still keep in touch with? Or?
Oh yeah, my brother and my aunt.
Lori?
I got my sisters.
Okay.
Although technically they're not biological either.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like people who you can genetically compare to.
Your
my aunt
and
is
aunt.
my aunt, my brother.
Cousins?
I have some. I have a few cousins. Yes.
Roxy.
But yeah, a lot of it. Not a whole lot left, to be honest. My uncle's passed. My mother's passed. I don't have a whole lot of blood. That's known blood.
Mm-hmm.
I did a DNA, the 23andMe thing, and so I have a bunch of relations to people that are relatively closely related to me.
Mm-hmm.
That I have no idea, and I know that's my father, my biological father's side.
I didn't find out
or know or anything.
I didn't find out much. I took a DNA test. Turns out I'm 100% that bitch. But that's all I was able to find out. That's all I was able to find out. I think maybe 0.24% Persian Sephardic Jew, but other than that, it's.
And that was like 3 years ago that we did that thing. 4 years ago.
It's been longer.
It's been a minute.
You know your dad's name, and I was hoping when you did it, it would connect you to some of your relatives on your dad's side.
Technically, it did.
Because it's Reuben Morse, your dad's name.
Yes, I am aware.
Social Security number 459.
Well, she said it to me did you know?
No.
I'm like, I know. But yeah, but if you look, there is a bevy of Morrises in my DNA matches.
I haven't looked.
The closest are there's a whole bunch of them. And the
Morris?
closest,
Have you done any look in to see if you're tied into any tobacco families?
Philip Morris.
I'm just saying you might have some.
Of course, they're all living in Virginia, so who knows?
Some of that tobacco money coming your way.
I'm gonna meet all my relatives. Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Grandma's over there smoking out of his stoma
through the blowhole. Yeah. That sounds about right.
Enjoy your breakfast, everybody.
That sounds about right. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I do have a bunch on that 23andMe thing. So. Let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. I just got this image. They all look like me, but with blowholes, and they're all talking.
There's all smoky room.
Of course, Grandma's still on the walker, but still smoking.
Like, everything's
I'm
yellowed.
down to 3 packs a day.
Like the walls
machines.
are yellow. The chairs are just everything's just it looks and smells and acts like the 60s right there. It's what
Oh my gosh.
So many of those beanbag ashtrays laying around.
No, and that's a trigger. But the trigger for me of all triggers is, and you mentioned your family or your grandma or mom had it, is the cigarette pouch with the two little metal clasps that you twist open.
Oh yeah, that was my mom. That was a staple in her purse over the years. They over the years she upgraded. One was like a leather one. Was,
a little pouch on the side for a lighter.
Yeah, and it was all, but yeah, it had that same little clasp to twin the two deal plop plop. But then hers had the front pocket to put your lighter.
Yeah. Same. Do you know if things hadn't have gone the way they did with legislation and whatnot, we were only a few years away from designer cigarette cases, like a Michael Kors twist.
I think they kind of had them in certain circles.
Well, what they had was those metal
gold
ones.
Yeah, those, and you pulled it out and
you tap tap tap. Yeah, that's what
I'm saying. Even to this day, that's still a baller move.
But I'm talking about like
if you
imagine
pull out at
like
a party and you're.
It's my Kate Spade cigarette case, you know.
I think if you could pull, like, in certain circles, I think if you pulled that out today, you'd still be looked at like a baller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, the hard metal case in the world of people who smoke, that's definitely a power play.
Bugs Bunny always filled his with carrots, if you remember. He had the one with the carrots.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, he had one with carrots. I mean, I don't think it was in every cartoon, but there was.
But that's the other thing is you think about those fancy cases, but then you also think about somebody getting a pack of cigarettes because back in the day they were all soft pack, right? But they get their pack and they open them up and they're having to one by one put them in. You know, that's the tedious thing you don't think about unless you're rich enough to have an assistant to pack your cigarette pack for you.
I mean, but you also were a generation where you still had a lot of people still rolling cigarettes.
That's
so compared
true.
to that, kind of a more convenient. So I mean, it's kind of the evolution. And then you still had your pipe smokers back then.
Oh yeah.
You know, which by the
I
which
love the smell of
I do
pipe
too. I kind of
smoking.
wish we still had the old school pipe smokers just hang out every once in a while.
For a brief second this morning when I walked downstairs, the first floor, the atrium there, it smelled like pipe tobacco.
Yeah.
It was kind of nice. I was
Where cigar smoke is kind of
acrid.
Yeah. Pipe smoke is kind of like, oh yeah.
It's pillowy. It's lighter. It's you know, and I think part of that is the way that the tobacco burns and the way you actually puff on it. It kind of keeps. It's like putting a certain type of wood on a fire.
Yeah,
you're getting
it
more of the
evokes a
smells
sense.
of that fire.
Absolutely. And in my little happy place with this, Bob Ross is involved. Like I could see like smoking the pipe, watching Bob Ross.
Nice. It's evocative of like a lot of our grandparents, like my granddad. I remember my grandpa smoked a pipe, and I'd go in on Mondays, and it'd be his pipe smoke and Monday Nitro. So that was how me and Grandpa bonded.
I like to watch I like to watch the Kennedy Center Honors with my Hunger Man TV dinner.
I like a nice bergamot while I'm watching Sting and Lex Luger in a cage match.
Bring out the Dom. It's tractor pull night. All right, it is 9:21. By the way, I don't know if I've tried to start to announce the hour. We're going to play our interview we had. Hayden Hill joined me earlier the week off hours here, and so we're going to play, first time played, but our interview with Hayden Hill talking about Goddard's Veterans Day Assembly here on November 7th. So we're going to play that interview for you here in just a bit. But before we do that, here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good today. We had a dry cold front drop through. That'll keep us a little bit cooler, low to mid 70s and a little gusty, but plenty of sunshine. Mid 40s and clear for the overnight hours. We'll be hitting about 80 for the afternoon high on Saturday. Not as windy and lots of sun. Low 50s and clear for Saturday night. Sunday looks good, warming up a little bit. Upper 80s and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. I need to refresh my weather. My apologies. I got sidetracked. All right, currently 59 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 48%. Winds are a little breezy right now, out of the north at 22, gusting to 25 miles per hour. Cooler today than yesterday, certainly. 72 are expected high under sunny skies. Winds will be out of the north, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, clear skies. Looking at an overnight low of 47 degrees with east winds at around 5 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny. A little bit warmer tomorrow, 78 for a high with east winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday, we're warming back up into the upper 80s, 87 for a high under sunny skies. Winds out of the southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then Monday, we're going to be in the 90s and then upper 80s for Tuesday. But then we drop down to the mid-70s, low 70s by Wednesday, Thursday of next week here. So, all right, it is 23 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Then we're going to play our interview with Hayden Hill talking about Goddard High's Veterans Assembly coming up here on November 7th. That's up next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winter.
Hi, Chef Anthony Noble here with the Valley Cafe at 801 West Brasher. We love serving you our delicious meals for lunch and dinner. The next time you're in on Monday or Tuesday, bring the family and take advantage of our kids' dinner special. With the purchase of an adult meal, you get a kids' meal for 20% off. That's right. Get the kids fed, save a little money, and enjoy what I got cooking in the kitchen. Come visit us at 801 West Brasher in the Orange Building across from Church on the Move in Roswell. We have it all. Come taste and see.
Don't forget, you can also find the Valley Cafe on our website at toasttab.com/Valley Cafe. Also on DoorDash, Grubhub, and Uber Eats.
There's nothing more magical than 80,000 cubic feet of hot air flying overhead, hearing the burners shoot propane and inflate the envelope of beautiful colors right before your eyes. Whether this is your family's lifelong tradition or you are new to Southeast New Mexico, make plans to join us for Balloons and Tunes at Eagle Draw Park at dawn on Saturday and Sunday morning, November 2nd and 3rd. Seeing the balloons is just the start, but join us to hear the tunes too. Artesia Chamber, Artesia Main Street, and Artesia Arts Council have partnered up to bring you a concert event Friday, November 1st that will surely get you in the mood for hot air balloons. Join us at the corner of 5th and Texas Street for Balloons, Bands, and Brews, where you'll enjoy food, New Mexico brews, and live music, including the Artesia High School Marching Band, playing along with our hot air balloon pilots. All events are weather permitting, and more information can be found at artesiachamber.com. Balloons and Tunes, November 2nd and 3rd in Artesia, New Mexico. Book hotels direct for the best rates. Ad paid for by Artesia Lodgers Tax.
Attention, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford knows recovering from an unexpected natural disaster is stressful, and our hearts go out to everyone who experienced loss due to the flooding. The damage left behind is devastating, but we're already seeing what it means to be Roswell strong, and we acknowledge and appreciate the heroic efforts of local authorities, first responders, and National Guard rescue teams. We've already received and continue to receive special shipments of new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles available for immediate delivery during our massive Super Tent Sale. It's at our temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. These new and pre-owned vehicles without flood damage are being offered to the public at unprecedented savings. We've instructed our staff to take any car in any condition. In fact, even if it doesn't run, we'll come get it and give you a generous allowance toward a new Ford or high-quality pre-owned vehicle. And we'll work with your insurance company to help you get what you deserve at Roswell Ford's temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. Thank you.
Late in the Apostle Paul's life, he wrote the following: "I've fought the good fight, I've finished the race, I've kept the faith. Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord the righteous judge will award to me on that day. And not only to me, but to all who have longed for his appearing." That is the definition of dying well. Paul had not always been a follower of Christ, but once he changed his life from persecutor to that of a man who followed Jesus to being fully dedicated, he was all in. He knew that he was forgiven, and he knew that he had lived a life of service to his Lord. He wasn't perfect, but he knew that Jesus was, and that Christ's saving grace was more than enough. You too can have that same confidence to die well. You can never earn it, but Jesus wants you to have his free gift of forgiveness. He wants all of us to be with him in heaven.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's Mike Winters.
Good morning, Coach. How you doing today?
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's kind of become tradition now. When Hayden Hill comes on the radio, that must mean it's Veterans Day is right around the corner here. And yep, we're once again here. We are, and one thing I love is the Roswell Independent School District. Every school, goes all out, and they really from our elementary schools, showing the kids at early ages up through high school.
Yes, sir.
They do include Veterans Day as part of their program, part of what they do, their curriculum. And so I love that, to see that.
Yes.
And so we want to invite everyone to as many of those as you can go to.
Yes, sir.
Check with your schools if you got kids or grandkids at their schools. Odds are pretty good. They've got a veterans assembly going on at their school. Please make all efforts possible to attend those if you can.
Yes.
But we would like to invite the public out to Goddard's as well, and to all the others too.
Yes.
But of course, Hayden, how many years now have you been doing the Goddard Veterans
This is
program?
our 16th year.
16th year. And have you been involved in all 16?
Yes, sir.
I'm about to say, because put it this way, I don't. There's a lot of people that I mention your name. It's like, oh, he was my history teacher. He was my basketball coach. So there's a lot of people that know you with various hats, obviously.
Yes.
But Veterans Day is one of the ones you've adopted over the last 16 years.
Yes,
here.
sir.
And I always say this: is Goddard every year they turn into a rock concert. Is what they really do. You guys do an amazing job of showing the importance of why we celebrate Veterans Day and why our veterans are important in our society.
Yeah.
But to just make the veterans feel that love too.
Yes.
Where and you know as well as I do, veterans by and large aren't always the most. They're not spotlight people.
Yes.
By and large, I mean, of course, there's everybody's got somebody, but by and large, veterans are more under the radar.
Yes,
people.
sir.
And so they tend to not always want to come and be celebrated.
Yes.
I hope you would put that aside and come check out what Goddard's got going on this year, because you guys do an amazing job every year. So.
Well, we appreciate it. We do it for two reasons. One, we want to honor the veterans. Some of them have never been thanked. And we have a lot of them that say that they didn't want to come, and once they came, they were glad they came. And the second thing, to show that young people do respect the flag. They respect our veterans. They stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. So it's kind of a two-way street that we try and accomplish.
Absolutely. And by and large, too, some of those folks that are in the audience, we're going to need them to step into those roles, too, at some point.
Yes, sir.
Some of those young men and women that are in that gym on November 7th here, they're going to be putting on that uniform too and doing their duty for our country. So we hope we inspire that generation too to do that. So,
yes, sir.
Absolutely. So let's talk nuts and bolts. What's up your sleeve for this year's Veterans Assembly? What events? What kind of things you got going on?
Okay, it'll start about 1:00 for the veterans and their families. Any member of the family or friends, they'll come to Goddard a little bit before 1:00. We'll have the fire department out there with the flag. We'll have the honor guard. We'll have music and everything, and then they'll be escorted into the little theater where we'll have snacks and a get-together.
Little reception. A pre-party.
Yeah, pre-party. And then about 1:20, the music will be coming, and the military will start off and turn and salute as they come in, and you'll have a little over 1,000 kids cheering them on.
Yep.
And then
and you're underestimating that a little. I mean, you say that it literally is. That's the rock concert part. I tell you, it's literally like the Kansas City Chiefs walked out onto the field.
Yeah, it really
for the
is.
Super Bowl.
And one thing I'd like to say here, you'd be shocked at the number of people that work months and months to really try and make this special. And then ours is a little bit different from a lot of others in that we don't have speeches. It's all kind of pomp and ceremony, and we have videos come down from the screen, and
more pep rally-like.
More pep rally-like. Yeah. And this year, again, for the second year in a row, we're going to have a World War II veteran that flew missions over the Battle of the Bulge.
We're blessed to have them. Quite frankly, folks, there's going to be a year where they're not going to have them because there's not going to be any left. So while we got them, we want to celebrate them as much as possible. So, that's great that we're still, and it's, and I hope the kids that are there I hope they take that in and understand you're seeing someone that, like, quite frankly, you're getting an opportunity that many people aren't going to get a chance to get here very soon.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's a cool thing. So I'm so glad that we do have a World War II veteran that, and we'll put a special spotlight on that person that on the event here.
Without a doubt, the one we had last year, he came to our assembly, and when it was over, he said one of the best things he ever did. He turned 100 years old the next month, and then shortly after that died, and. So we're going to do something special, kind of a Paul Harvey, the rest of the story for him.
Oh, great.
And then one thing we're going to do this year, because we want to honor everybody, and we do, but we want to also put a little emphasis today on the young people that were in Iraq and Afghanistan and the war against
our
terror.
Newest veterans.
Our newest veterans. We're going to do something special for them.
Yeah, and this is... And this is something too and this is where we need, and where we use Veterans Day as a platform too, is that reminder to those veterans and the mental health. We're obviously all of us, we want to check on each other's mental health, but the veterans world, it's a little bit of a higher, more risk situation.
Yes, sir.
And so it is a reminder. And to be honest, that's the generation of veterans that we're focusing most on right now, because they're the ones that are dealing with the bigger issues coming from Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever they've served. And trust me, other war times veterans know you see and deal with things, and no matter how much other people want to understand, if you haven't been there, it's really hard to understand. No matter how much you want to, it really just is hard.
Yes.
So it's great to see that we're focusing on our younger vets, and we're even seeing that like nationally through our like American Legions and VFWs, where you're starting to see they are trying to shift gears and saying, hey, this isn't for the 60, 70-year-old, curmudgeons on the bar stool anymore. This is for our 20 and 30-something veterans, veterans we have now. So, and so it is a focus that not all veterans look like me. Some of them look like you and younger folks here too nowadays, and we got to remember that.
Yeah. And we thank you for your service, through the years with, whether you've been out in public in Roswell or the radio station, you not only served in the military, but you've continued to serve for our community.
Well,
thank you.
I try to. This is pot calling kettle black, because you have that server's heart too, and just your work alone on this, but outside of this, just your coaching career, your teaching career, you've impacted a lot of lives yourself.
Well, thank you very much.
And so it's awesome that we see that you do this, and it's great. And to be honest, I think you got a point where it's you have the young people now, and they know you as the Veterans Day guy. You get so it's great to see that we're getting new generations, and you're influencing that as well. But we do want to make sure we would love to honor veterans. Please come. If you don't feel comfortable coming out to Veterans Assembly, I get it, but please try the Goddard one. Come on out here now. I don't think we've given actually pretty detail. The actual assembly day will be on November 7th. It'll be at Goddard High School.
Yes.
Like I said, we'll have the pre-party there from about 1 to 1:25. That's where we'll have light refreshments and music and all that. And then around 1:25 or so, you'll kind of get ushered into the gym, and that's when the big party starts. And obviously free. Just bring yourself, bring your family.
Yes.
Love to have you come, and we want to pack ground zero there from floor to rafter with folks honoring and it's a celebration. That's what it is. It's we say Veterans Day. It's to celebrate and honor our veterans. Well, that's exactly what they're doing in there.
Yes.
It's not focusing on the hard part of being a veteran. It's focusing on you're a veteran, you're amazing, and we're in a great place because you did what you did. That's what it's all about.
Exactly. And one thing I like to throw in also is the Veterans Day Parade is coming up. And, we as a community, we pack the place on 4th of July and the Fair Day and stuff. And a lot of veterans that won't go to a school will be walking in that parade, and it would be really cool for our community if we could literally pack those talk to your kids about it before, and let's get everybody there. And when that flag comes by, we stand and honor them. It's not real long, but it'd be very important if we could fill that road for the parade.
Yep, it is something that and I know you folks, we hear it a lot, we say it a lot, but it really, really is true. It's everything that you love about this country and the freedoms we enjoy. Is this country perfect? Oh, absolutely not. But there's not many places on the planet that you can enjoy and do the things and live the life you live. And trust me, as a veteran, as a person that's seen life in other parts of the world, you do not realize how good you have it and what you take for granted. Even in places that you think are like us, your Englands, your Australias, they're not exactly the same. Yeah. They're not quite the same. And your rights, your freedoms, what you can do aren't exactly the same. And you don't realize it until it comes under attack. And so that's the only reason you get to do it. And all the things we get to enjoy, it's because a veteran said that they're willing to do what they're willing to do. And that's the only way we preserve that. We're human beings, and to preserve freedom, you've got to be strong enough to keep it. And that's what those veterans do. They ensure we get to keep it. And so that's why we do that.
We start off our Veterans Assembly, by the way, saying, look before you. Every one of those veterans were willing to die for you.
Yeah. And this is the thing, too. Regardless of when you served or where you served or what you served, I don't care if you were sitting in a foxhole, sitting in a fighter jet, or sitting in a kitchen in a tent somewhere. It doesn't matter. All those roles are vital to the mission. And every person that signed that name and their contract, giving their life to Uncle Sam to 4 to 6 or however many years you were in it, it's different. You don't, because your whole life is given up for that. You're no longer protected by the Constitution. You've basically given up your constitutional rights to say, I'm going to protect this country. Because if you do get in trouble or you do something, guess what? You're under UCMJ. The rules don't apply to you. And there are things in the UCMJ that you are constitutionally protected against. Things like double jeopardy, stuff like that. Military people are subject to that stuff that civilians aren't. And so that's just other things that you don't realize, that by signing your name on that dotted line, that's what you're giving up. So that's why we celebrate veterans. We celebrate all veterans, ones that got the medals full of Purple Hearts and all that stuff, to the ones that fortunately their jobs didn't require them to have to do it, but by golly, they were sitting in the middle of somewhere working on an air conditioner or making sure hot meals are served to all the troops there. That's just as big a role. And trust me, every person sitting in a foxhole and flying in a jet, they appreciate those people that cook good food and make sure their accommodations are decent and all that. So, all roles are valuable as a veteran. So, I know I got way talking too much. I do that.
No, you were great. You were great.
I'm just curious though. What is it that drives you? What's for 16 years and to have your passion to make sure that this goes off the way it does. What's your driving factor?
Well, I never. My dad died before I ever knew him, and people that I was around, a lot of them were military people.
Gotcha.
And patriotic people, and it just impacted my life. And I still see people, like you, on a daily basis. I didn't serve, but this was maybe a way for me and all the people at Goddard to maybe do our small part.
Sure. Well, it's greatly appreciated, and it's so great that you do this and inspire others. And to be honest, by doing this, you're actually inspiring the next generations of veterans and things like that. These kids that we're seeing in classrooms, and some of them are going to be sent off to places and things down the road, and because they're willing to do that, is people like you that gave them the inspiration to want to protect and want to be a part of this. So
Well,
we appreciate that.
One thing I like to say is I get a lot of credit for this, and
there is a lot of moving parts.
And the truth is that it's unbelievable how many people that make this, there is no way I could do it. So it's a lot of people that believe in our country that want to be a part of it.
But it's also got to a point, too, where it's now tradition.
Yes.
So now everyone's almost like, all right, Hayden, what are we doing again? It's the phone calls start up and go.
Yes,
so and that's a beloved thing to see. And quite frankly, I hope it continues long after you said, you know what, I'm going to pass that baton to someone else.
Yes, sir.
At some point. So, but folks, come on out again. November 7th is Goddard High School's Veterans Assembly. Please take note. Roswell High will be having one right around the same time, and pretty much all the middle and elementary schools will be as well. Talk with your grandparents or grandkids and kids and nieces and nephews and see, try to line up and be a part of that and all as well. But come make a point to make a time to come out to Goddard's Veteran Assembly again. November 7th, 1 p.m. is when the reception starts. The assembly starts at 1:30. Usually you're done, about 2:30 or so?
Yeah, around 2:40 you'll be this year.
So you'll be out early afternoon, and then you can go on to what the rest of the day brings you here. But love to have you come out, and trust me, you're going to come in and you're going to come out and you're like, wow, that was bigger. And I'm hyped it, but it's not enough. It really you don't do you justice till you walk in and see it. So please be a part. And Hayden, as always, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we anything else we can help you with, let me know, and we'll be happy to.
Thank you very much.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The city of Roswell is continuing to work to clear debris from last weekend's massive flooding. The city said Thursday that people should keep vehicles off the road in flooded areas and do not place large items in trash containers. Instead, just place the items along the curb at the street, not in the alleyway. Also, materials placed out for curbside pickup must not have any overhead obstructions and have a clear radius of 8 inches around them. You'll pay more for traffic citations in Carlsbad. This week, the Carlsbad City Council voted unanimously 7-0 to increase fines by $40 for 14 various traffic offenses. Ward 2 Councilor J.J. Chavez was absent from the meeting Tuesday night, so he did not vote. 5 cases of E. coli are now confirmed in New Mexico, with 1 death after a food safety alert was tied to McDonald's Quarter Pounders. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Your morning espresso starts right here. It's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
You think maybe they ought to ratchet down the rhetoric, but the reason they can't is because they cannot run that the borders are safer, that the economy is better because everybody knows differently. Everything they buy in every store they go to costs more. Everybody's sick and tired of paying high gas and energy prices, $1.50 more a gallon than you were paying. That adds up after 4 years, and it was even higher at different points. And then, of course, depleting our strategic oil reserves in the process, which was pretty dumb, too. This is what they are left with. They can't say our towns are more safe and more secure because the crime rate has been skyrocketing, given as they tried to hide and alter the numbers. They can't say anything is better off, so that's what they're left.
The Sean Hannity Show, from coast to coast, later today.
Hey, remember the old way of shopping for custom window treatments? Waiting around all day to get an overpriced quote from a pushy commission salesperson? Well, those days are over thanks to Blinds.com, because they invented a better way. Now, with completely virtual consultations and free samples sent right to your door, you never have to deal with a salesperson in your home ever again. You can always count on Blinds.com to deliver top-quality window treatments. Now, from their premium woven wood to motorized shades, which I love, and so much more, you can get unlimited custom window treatments installed, whether it's 1 or 100, for one low cost. And at Blinds.com, there are never any hidden fees. The price you see on the website is the price that you pay. Ordering online may be scary to some of you, but not with Blinds.com, because they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Shop Blinds.com right now. Get up to 45% off on select styles. Save up to 45% on select styles when you go to Blinds.com.
Rules and restrictions may apply.
With your Cowboys Report, I'm Christy Scales. All-Pro guard Zach Martin gives a scouting report on 49ers superstar pass rusher Nick Bosa right after this.
A true Dallas Cowboys fan is there for the journey and the destination. This is the season to make your journey count by flying through McAllen International Airport, the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. Whether you're flying down for McAllen's award-winning fall and holiday festivals, or you're a South Texas fan flying up to cheer the Cowboys on, make your journey as satisfying as your destination at the South Texas airport of the Dallas Cowboys. McAllen International Airport, above, beyond, at McAllenAirport.com.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
The Cowboys head to California this weekend for a big Sunday night showdown at the 49ers, who've been ravaged by injuries to key offensive players like Christian McCaffrey and Brandon Ayuk. But on defense, San Francisco still has superstar linebacker Fred Warner, as well as elite pass rusher Nick Bosa. All-pro guard Zach Martin says Bosa is a focal point of the Cowboys' game plan.
Yeah, I mean, he's a stud, right? I mean, every time he goes into a game, he's going to have some sort of second component coming at him, and first and foremost is his motor. A lot of times guys play that hard, they're not on the field as much as he is, and the guy's on the field a lot, so match his intensity, you know.
The Cowboys defense is likely without Micah Parsons for a third straight week. He's been unable to practice because of an ankle injury. Kickoff Sunday night is 7:20 Central right here on your home for Cowboys Radio.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Things look pretty good today. We had a dry cold front drop through. That'll keep us a little bit cooler, low to mid 70s and a little gusty, but plenty of sunshine. Mid 40s and clear for the overnight hours. We'll be hitting about 80 for the afternoon high on Saturday. Not as windy and lots of sun. Low 50s and clear for Saturday night. Sunday looks good, warming up a little bit. Upper 80s and sunny. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Greg Clugston. New orders for key U.S. manufactured capital goods increased more than expected in September, but business spending on equipment likely slowed in the third quarter. The Commerce Department says non-defense capital goods orders, excluding aircraft, jumped 0.5% last month. Russia's central bank raised its key interest rate by 2 percentage points to a record high 21%. The move is an effort to combat growing inflation as government spending on the military strains the Russian economy's capacity to produce goods and services and drive up workers' wages. The average rate on a 30-year mortgage in the U.S. rose again this week, reaching its highest level in nearly 3 months. Freddie Mac says the rate rose to 6.54% last week. The average rate is down from a year ago. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Greg Clugston.
Help benefit the Wounded Warrior Project with H.F. Sinclair Saturday, November 9th at the Veterans Mission 5K Fun Run, Walk and Ride. This 5K Fun Run will begin and end at Beige Veterans Park in Artesia, and the course will take you around Eagle Draw, Walk or Run. Kids 6 and under can join on their bikes. Pre-registration is $25 for adults and teens, kids $10, and your 4-legged companion only $5, with all proceeds to benefit Wounded Warriors. For more information or to sign up, visit hfsnm.com/veterans-mission-5K.
At Martine's Capital Cafe, come in and enjoy a delicious variety for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Try our burritos, huevos rancheros, asado, chorizo, sausage, flantas, fajitas, chili rellenos, quesadillas, enchiladas, sopapillas, and don't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger and so much more. Everything is prepared with the finest and freshest ingredients. Martine's Capital Cafe. Quality, value, tradition, and the most delicious New Mexican food since 1989. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th Street in Roswell.
Picture this. You're behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor. You're effortlessly breaking ground, moving piles of rocks just by moving a lever, and enjoying the sun as you clear brush across your pasture. We could keep trying to put you in the moment, but to really understand what this feels like, you just have to get in the seat.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell, or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Attention, Roswell and surrounding areas. Roswell Ford knows recovering from an unexpected natural disaster is stressful, and our hearts go out to everyone who experienced loss due to the flooding. The damage left behind is devastating, but we're already seeing what it means to be Roswell strong, and we acknowledge and appreciate the heroic efforts of local authorities, first responders, and National Guard rescue teams. We've already received and continue to receive special shipments of new Fords and quality pre-owned vehicles available for immediate delivery during our massive Super Tent Sale. It's at our temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. These new and pre-owned vehicles without flood damage are being offered to the public at unprecedented savings. We've instructed our staff to take any car in any condition. In fact, even if it doesn't run, we'll come get it and give you a generous allowance toward a new Ford or high-quality pre-owned vehicle. And we'll work with your insurance company to help you get what you deserve at Roswell Ford's temporary location on West 2nd Street between Toyota and Allsup's. Thank you.
There are 3 key phrases that need to be spoken on a regular basis in a healthy marriage. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
You know, for over 20 years, Julie and I have been sharing these 3 key phrases, and here they are. I love you, I'm sorry, and I forgive you.
Ephesians 4:32 says, be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ, God forgave you.
You know, it's so easy to expect others to love us, to say I'm sorry, and to forgive us. But you know, it's really a gift that we give each other. You know, the Bible teaches us we sow and we reap. Sow into your spouse, I love you, I forgive you, I'm sorry. And then you'll reap a harvest in return. Someone has to start the process. Let that be you today so you can really enjoy your marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
Oh, and good morning. It is 9:55. Got a few minutes here before we wrap up today's show. So, of course, we do have football for you tonight and tomorrow. Got it Rockets, Artesia Bulldogs at the Wool Bowl tonight. We'll have that game for you on our sister station, 106.1 FM Fiero. Video as well, ksvptv.com. We'll have the Bulldog version as well there on ksvptv.com. The Roswell Coyotes are in action tomorrow as they travel to Las Cruces, take on Mayfield. We'll have that game for you right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, live streaming video, ksvptv.com.
The district picture is getting clearer.
Absolutely. So I went on a wormhole earlier.
Okay.
Exposing my wife to this because I saw it yesterday. Sean and I were sitting here when I hopped on it. So there's this guy, and I found him on Facebook. I'm sure he's on many social medias. He goes under the handle the Professor Nick Harrison.
Uh-huh.
And he does this thing where I guess people send him requests for songs, and he turns them into yacht rock versions of songs.
Right.
And I stumbled across he did a Master of Puppets, which was pretty good. It was very good.
It's honestly, I mean, if had that been the original sound, I'd be like, I kind of dig this.
Yeah. But now I've gone down the wormhole.
Okay.
Where I found he did Disturbed, Down with the Sickness.
Okay.
And this one I'm kind of interested in.
It sounds more like a Richard Cheese situation.
Maybe we'll find this. All right. CB,
and this is Down with the Sickness?
Okay. No, this is not Down with the Sickness.
Okay.
Guess this one.
No, other side. There you go. What? When the lights out, it's less dangerous. Oh my God! Entertain us. Acting stupid and contagious. I didn't get it until right when he said, "Hey, how low?"
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, isn't it crazy?
A mosquito. I could totally get down this. That's amazing. So
Smells like Teen Spirit.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
and I got to keep scrolling to find more, but the Down with the Sickness one was different.
I can't help but think of, and you know who I'm talking about, but they might not, Richard Cheese.
Yeah, I do.
Which he was a guy who back in the day, back in like 10, 15 years ago, his whole thing was he would put out lounge versions of rock songs.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure he did Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Oh, you know, yeah.
Because I feel like my libido, yeah.
I do remember that. Yeah.
There's that one. I want to say he did. I don't think he did.
There was a
Down
Bon
with the
Jovi song
Sickness.
too. He did, didn't he?
Maybe it was mostly like hard rock. It was mostly like
yeah. I feel like there was like a Dead or Alive or one of those ones he did too.
He might have.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you know another one he did in there actually I didn't play. It was kind of interesting. Motley Crue's Dr. Feelgood.
Really?
Yeah. That was interesting too.
If you're on the right combination of drugs, you might think you're listening to the original Dr. Feelgood.
Yeah. So I got to go down that wormhole some more and find some more songs.
Yeah,
But I was scrolling and liking, and yeah, he goes like there were Stone Temple Pilots in there.
Mhm.
Like they I think literally people just send him requests and he just turns them into yacht rock songs.
That's
It's
awesome.
really cool. So I'm gonna go.
What's the guy's name?
Sorry, it's something.
Because all I got is Richard Cheese in my head.
Professor Nick Harrison.
The Professor Nick Harrison.
Yes.
I have to go check him out.
Oh, we did a Pearl Jam song here.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, he does different ones. And I guess he does different videos. Like here's a Van Halen one. Panama.
Oh, wow.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Van Halen was yacht rock.
We only got a few seconds, so.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
We'll take you out with a little yacht rock Panama Van Halen.
Jump back, what's that sound? Here she comes, full blast and top down. Hot shoe burning down.
Oh, okay.
Zero discipline. Don't you know she's coming home with me? You lose her in the turn.
I don't forget to get to the chorus. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Be safe out there, Roswell.
Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. Former President Donald Trump says America's best days are just ahead.